What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 11 nanoseconds chapter 134 Konoha Village Meddling? Advertisement? Who are you? Shisha stood still on the top of the tree, frowning at Sasuke. When he was doing it, he specially checked that there were no signs of other people around, but he didn't expect that an uninvited guest would suddenly jump out. Shisha doesn't want the news of his betrayal of Longyan Village to spread, and he doesn't want everyone to know that he led the people from Rain Shinobi Village to invade Longyan Village. So Sasuke, who suddenly joins the battle, is tantamount to becoming a thorn in Shisha's side. Jonin, who had been standing by Rain Shinobi Village, suddenly spoke. Pure fire style technique, people from Trapped Leaf Village. He didn't notice anyone around him just now, so it can be seen that this person's concealment technique is excellent, such a powerful talent coupled with the familiar fire style technique. Even if Sasuke is wearing his own clothes, he can still be recognized? Wood 937 Leaf Village. As soon as this statement came out, everyone was shocked. The people of Takehide Village are surprised. It is the strongest Konoha village of the Five Kingdoms who joins in. Konoha Village also longs for peace, and helping them at this time must be a dislike for Rain Shinobi Village's behavior. And everyone in Rain Shinobi Village couldn't help frowning. How could people from Konoha Village appear here and meddle in this matter again? Leave now, I can pretend I didn't see you, Rain Shinobi Village Jonin said slowly. Konoha Village is not easy to mess with, he doesn't want to offend Konoha Village because of the hero water. More importantly, BGDH, I don't know how many people came to Konoha Village, let alone when Longyan Village contacted Konoha Village. Shibuki of Longyan Village immediately said, Your Excellency the ninja of Konoha Village, please help us, Longyan Village must be grateful. Advertisement. The matter of Longyan Village is a foregone conclusion. I hope Konoha Village will not participate in this battle. Shisha jumped down and stood back in the camp of Rain Shinobi Village, confronting Sasuke in the middle. Shisha has been surveyed while at the top, and there are no other people around, which means that Konoha Village is just such a little ghost in Longyan Village. If this is the case, no one else knows what happened to this person. Shisha and Kirigakure Jonin looked at each other. Huh? It's quite lively. Naruto sensed the murderous intent in their eyes, jumped out of the plant with a splash, and patted the mud on his shoulder. Another one. Little Sakura also got up silently, and stood side by side with Sasuke, staring vigilantly at the people of Rain Shinobi Village. She was on the side just now, seeing the killing intent in Shisha's eyes clearly, and knew that this person had no intention of letting them go, although they didn't intend to just leave. The kid from Konoha Village, it's really annoying. Jonin from Rain Shinobi Village narrowed his eyes slightly, his tone revealing a stern tone. How can there be less talk like this, Naruto? What's more, the other party still covered his whole body tightly, and he didn't know if he was Rain Shinobi who dared not meet people. This uncle's words are really funny. You rush into other people's homes and rob others, and don't let people draw their swords to help, His Majesty said. Brothers like you are shameful and contemptuous. Corazon probably didn't expect that Naruto could remember what he said casually so clearly, and he also flexibly used the red eyes of Rain Shinobi Village Jonin. Hey, are you sure about the last Jonin? Naruto asked in a low voice while noticing that everyone in Rain Shinobi Village was staring at them unkindly. No, Sasuke's eyes were still cold, and he spit out two words lightly. Naruto wants to hold his heart and take 2 steps back. Didn't know you were jumping so fast. Chapter 135. Fight for Longyan Village. Advertisement. Before he had time to think about how to outsmart him, Sasuke acted. Even with Naruto can only show up, as a result, Sasuke now categorically tells him that he is not sure. Quite confident, Naruto feels a little headache. After I go back, I will definitely report you to Instructor Orochimaru for acting recklessly. Naruto gritted his teeth while pinching his knuckles. Up to you. Sasuke dropped the last 2 words, and out of the corner of his eye, he noticed Bon's small movements, and his body blocked Bon's sneak attack like a sharp sword. The reaction is not bad. Bon licked his dry lips, staring at Sasuke like a lion majesty. He has been an assassin for so many years and he is rarely stopped by such a big brat, his whole body is full of fighting spirit. Little Sakura casually threw a medical ninjutsu, but not at Naruto Sasuke, but at Jonin who was temporarily out of combat due to injury. If you want to say well little Sakura has practiced the best during this time, it must be healing. Who made Jiraiya get bruised and swollen every day, and no one treated him, and he didn't look good, so he had the cheek to ask little Sakura to help. Because of this, little Sakura has a live practice object every day, and Jiraiya's injury is sometimes quite difficult to deal with. The key point depends on how dead he is that day and Tsunade's mood index. Corazon issued an order. Kizaru's casino can continue to open. Tsunade can go in and play if he wants to, but he can't beat anyone if he loses, let alone smash the casino. With more than 3 million lessons, Tsunade also knows how difficult it is to deal with Corazon. After losing, he loses his temper. He just has a Jiraiya delivered to his door. Otherwise, Jiraiya's physical skills are amazing, and Arizone thought it should be the good physique that Tsunade punched when he was a sandbag. With the addition of little Sakura, the whole battle situation began to change. Although it has not yet achieved an absolute advantage, Takehide Village has begun to have the ability to resist. Advertisement. Rain Shinobi Village is known for assassinations, usually in one hit, so they don't have great medical ninjas. Therefore, Shisha did not hesitate to choose to start with the small Sakura. Hey, your opponent is me. Naruto glanced at him mockingly, The avatar technique was fired instantly, and the 4,000 rounds fired without hesitation. Ask for flowers. Shisha was forced to change direction, because he didn't expect Naruto's fighting power to be so amazing, so he was even a little embarrassed when dodging. But he is still Jonin anyway. After realizing Naruto's strength, Shisha quickly adjusted his fighting state. As for Sasuke, there has also been a change. Bon finds that he may not be the opponent of this kid. Sasuke, who has Sharingan, can see through all his attack methods, so all sneak attacks are very straightforward and frank in Sasuke's eyes. 0. Hazy. Needless to say, Oboro instantly gave up on his opponent and rushed to join hands with Shu. The remaining one, Mungwo, is even more difficult to deal with, because he chose to retreat to the end and make a cold shot. Shiki looked at the three young ninjas whose names he didn't even know who were fighting for Takian village. His eyes became redder and redder. What Shisha said was partly true. If it wasn't because he was too cowardly, Longyan village would definitely become stronger. At least he could survive to protect his own ability. But now, Longyan village is even going to be destroyed by the traitors. No, absolutely 7 lines 100 million. Chapter 136. Water of Heroes, Fusion. Advertisement, Elder, give me that thing. Shibuki clenched his fist tightly. He was also injured, so he retreated to the back to rest for the time being. Now the Shisha is entangled by Naruto, and Sasuke has also dragged some people, but Rain Shinobi village has made enough preparations this time to completely take down Longyan village, so how could it be possible to only bring so few people? The Jonin leader of Rain Shinobi village has finally made his move. This is a master who is good at water style, and the 357 in his shots is like a dragon and a tiger leaping. The overwhelming Jonin of Takian village is retreating steadily. If this continues, not only will he lose the village, but it is very likely that even the 3 Konoha village ninjas will fall here together. Leader. The elder of Longyan village hesitated. It's not the last moment. Do you really want to use this thing? Shiki's mind has been decided. Give me. What they're talking about is the hero water that Rain Shinobi village and Shisha want to fight for. The heroic water passed down from generation to generation in Longyan village is actually the blood of the first generation of heroic water people. The water of heroes that has been passed down from generation to generation since then is blood red, and that is why. All the red liquid was poured into his mouth. Shibuki gritted his teeth and felt the rampant chakra in his body. The elder of Takikakure village looked at Shibuki very nervously. The reason why they have the hero's water but can't take it easily is that not all of them can successfully merge. If you can't integrate the final ending, you will explode and die. Shiki's current appearance looks too weird. Mysterious and complicated patterns began to appear on his face, and his whole face turned red, as if he couldn't control this power. Advertisement. The elders of Takian village used to only know what kind of situation might happen to people who drink the water of heroes from the mouth of the elders of the previous generation. This is the first time they saw it, and they were also shocked. Leader. Shiki has shrunk into a ball. The chakra in his body seemed to smash all the internal organs. He only felt that there was a sharp spike in his body stirring mercilessly in his body. Strength. The inexhaustible power began to integrate into the body. Suddenly there was something more in the air, and Shisha, who was being entangled by Naruto, suddenly found something was wrong. That kid drank the hero's water. Grab it. Shisha let out a roar, and Shiki, who was already out of everyone's attention, became the target of the fire again. At this moment, there is no one around Sheki, so it is a good time for them to do it. Naruto was shocked, and was dragged back by Sasuke just as he wanted to help. Before he had time to speak, he saw Rain Shinobi, who was the closest to Shiki and was crushed by the invisible chakra as soon as he rushed up. No wonder there was no one around Shibuki. His surroundings are now the scariest place. Outsiders will be mercilessly strangled if they approach him. He is merging the hero's water. We can't let him succeed, otherwise. Shisha looked gloomy, and Rain Shinobi village Jonin quickly understood what he meant before he finished speaking. Once the heroic water, which can infinitely magnify and strengthen the 5.4 carats in a person's body, is fused, it is equivalent to adding a monster as powerful as a shadow in the opponent's camp. The existence of this level is by no means something they can compete with. Hey, what are you thinking? Naruto reacted and immediately gave up helping Shiki. The earth-style technique learned from Gaara was transformed into countless earth thorns under the knot seal, piercing into Rain Shinobi's body from bottom to top, and at the same time stop Rain Shinobi village Jonin. Chapter 137. Jonin's strongest blow. Advertisement. These little bastards are so annoying. Rain Shinobi village Jonin's eyes are filled with murderous intent. At the beginning, he just wanted his subordinates to deal with them, but he found that these little devils who didn't know how to train them were not easy to deal with. If so, he does it himself. Countless jets of water are summoned from the nearby waterfall. The environment of Takahide village allows the Rain Shinobi to maximize the use of water style, which also multiplies the abilities of this Rain Shinobi Jonin. Sasuke and Naruto were shocked. Coming, Jonin's strongest strike. Die 16. Kid, if it weren't for these 3 ghosts jumping out suddenly, they would have ended the battle long ago, so the anger of Rain Shinobi towards the 3 of Naruto can be imagined. Rain Shinobi, who is here at the moment, can't wait to destroy these 3 little devils who jumped out of Konoha village immediately. Anyway, if they are killed here, the people of Konoha village will never know. Naruto finally felt the threat of death at this moment, but what he respected the most was that he was not afraid, and even faintly excited. There is something in the body, it seems that it can't wait to break free. Can't? Naruto grits his teeth. Earth style. Sasuke was surprised to find that the movement of chakra around Naruto seemed to have completely lost its original regularity and started to rotate crazily. The wind blew suddenly, giving him a bad premonition. This guy won't something seemed to be clamoring in his body. Naruto only felt that his head was full of noise. No, advertisement can't let him out. Naruto only felt that he seemed to have lost all senses at this moment, as if everything in the world had lost its color. Attack with a jet of chakra that can tear them apart. It's now, boom, several huge trees around collapsed. Empty. An accident flashed across Rain Shinobi Village Jonan's eyes. Sasuke took a heavy breath. It's not that it missed, but that the two brats on the opposite side used some method to hide. The body replacement technique that Sasuke has just explored, this is the first time to use it on several people at the same time. The chakra in his body is almost exhausted. The so-called body replacement technique is to exchange the surrounding animals and plants with your own identity to avoid attacks. Orochimaru occasionally mentioned a sentence in class, and Sasuke remembered it. After returning home, he studied for 2 months before he achieved a small success. This is the first appearance. Little Sakura grabs Naruto. Naruto. Wake up. Naruto is very wrong now. 650 Jin. His skin is hot, and his eyes reveal bloodlust. It's not like him. Little Sakura and Sasuke thought of 9 tails inside Naruto at the same time. Could it be that the battle with Rain Shinobi Village Jonin stimulated the seal in Naruto? TJ. Now that Orochimaru is not with them, what if the 9 tails in Naruto really take advantage of the opportunity to break through the seal? The ground suddenly made a dull sound, which instantly diverted everyone's attention. Because of the 3 of Naruto, Shibuki, who gained time for a short period of time, finally completely merged with the Water of Heroes, the secret treasure of Takigakure village. At this moment, his face is covered with patterns, and people can't even distinguish his original appearance. Chapter 138 Sasuke and Little Sakura Advertisement. Everyone in Rain Shinobi Village frowned. Big trouble. Shisha was keenly aware of the thoughts of everyone in Rain Shinobi Village. He was worried that I would abandon myself at this critical moment and retreat temporarily, so he immediately chose to continue to sell the secrets of Rain Shinobi Village. The hero's water is on this kid. As long as he can be brought back, then Rain Shinobi Village will have inexhaustible hero's water in the future. Hookah is smart enough. He knew that the people of Rain Shinobi Village were bound to get the hero's water, so he didn't hesitate to lure them with this. Really, the people of Rain Shinobi Village are heartbroken. Superior. All ninjas move at the same time, but everyone tacitly avoided the front of Shibuki. The Rain Shinobi who jumped at Shiki just now can still vividly remember the fate. No one is stupid enough to send it to the door at this time. Are you okay? Little Sakura pulled Naruto back, while also paying attention to Sasuke's situation. Imagine how hard it would be to completely dodge a Jonin's strongest blow with their current abilities, and Sasuke not only managed it, he even took Naruto along with her to dodge it. It's okay. Sasuke sat down against the tree trunk behind him, and naturally there were people from Takian village who were worried about them, guarding them for fear of being attacked. The 3 of Sasuke are benefactors to them, and everyone in Takian village also saw the last blow, knowing that the current chakra in Sasuke's body is exhausted and needs to rest, so no one came to fight them. Everyone just guarded silently, looking at Shiki and everyone in Rain Shinobi Village in midair. Shibuki, who has thoroughly fused hero's water, is very difficult to deal with. After a short fight, Shisha realized that this apprentice was completely different from what he knew, so he began to hold back silently. Advertisement Rain Shinobi Village Jonin had no choice but to fight back with all his might. Finally, after countless tremors in the forest, Rain Shinobi Village Jonin was shot down to the ground like Shiki not long ago. Shiki landed easily, looking at the hookah with evil spirits in his eyes. Shisha seemed to have sensed that the current situation was wrong, and immediately showed his final hole card. I know where Fu is. The roaring water dragon finally stopped completely. Shiki stopped steadily within half a step away from the hookah. Take another half step, and the hookah will surely die on the spot. There was a drop of cold sweat on Shisha's forehead, and he reiterated, haven't you been looking for Fu? I know where she is. Seven Tails Jinchuriki is his last hole card, originally intended to surrender to Rain Shinobi Village, but now it has become his life-saving tool. Shisha didn't care too much, so he could only quickly stabilize the irritable Shibuki. Ninjas who have fused the Water of Heroes will have difficulty controlling their own power in the early stages, and even have the urge to destroy the world. This is why people in Longyan Village regard the Water of Heroes as a secret treasure but never use it easily. This kind of thing is too dangerous. If it is not used properly, it is very likely that the whole village will be destroyed. Good money, Zhao. You actually caught Fu. The elder of Longyan Village seemed even more angry. Because of the injury, he even vomited blood at the same time. Who is Fu? Sasuke thought quickly. He is only temporarily out of combat power, not in a tug of war with 9 tails like Naruto, so he can still keep calm. Under Shisha's very difficult gaze, Shibuki, whose face was covered with patterns, finally spoke. Bring her to the island. Chapter 139 Huge Snakehead. Advertisement. It was still the same clear boyish voice, but it was a little more gloomy and tyrannical for no reason. Shisha knew that the situation of Rain Shinobi Village was over this time, and he didn't have time to think about what would happen if he urged Rain Shinobi Village to attack Longyan Village, but caused Rain Shinobi Village to suffer heavy losses. Now all he has to do is survive. I'll have someone bring her here right away. Soon, Anbu, who was directly under Shisha's orders, came quickly, and it seemed that this person named Fu had been hidden by Shisha in Longyan Village. But Longyan village did not find it. The girl with short green hair and a super long red backpack has completely lost her consciousness at this moment and just followed behind Anbu blankly. Fu. Shemu spoke slowly. Fu moved, as if sensing something, but in the end she maintained 347's original state. Shiki turned his attention to the hookah again. Shisha swallowed. The sense of crisis that had spread to the back of his head made him dare not delay, and he quickly lifted the illusion on Lao. It's just a small illusion, just to make her obedient. The green-haired girl who had released the illusion suddenly fell limply, and Shibuki stretched out his hand to hug her. Right now, Shisha, who had already had no chance of winning, discovered Shibuki's unguarded action, and his eyes flashed. Leader, be careful. The elder who just vomited blood didn't believe that hookah can be convinced from the very beginning, so he has been paying attention to his situation. And discovered the action of hookah for the first time. This blow embodies Shisha's strongest ninjutsu in his life. If he takes it hard, even Shibuki who has fused the water of heroes will be seriously injured. Although Shibuki suddenly possessed such a powerful force, but because of the lack of experience in the team, such a big mistake occurred. It has to be said that Shisha is his master after all, and he probably knows more about this apprentice than he imagined. Advertisement at this critical moment, a huge snake head suddenly appeared in the sky. That's right, it's the snake head, and it's still spitting letters, the kind that is white from beginning to end. Shisha was shocked and even forgot to back up, and then found that his strongest blow disappeared after the snake head appeared, not to mention seriously injuring Shiuki, BGCA, and even a gust of wind did not attract it. How so? Where did this snake come from? No matter it was Rain Shinobi village or Longyan village, everyone was shocked, only little Sakura showed joy. Master Orochimaru is here, although I didn't understand much, but I helped them just now. These 3 young ninjas should know this giant snake, right? The people of Takiyan village reacted quickly, and immediately turned it into the range of their own people. Another Jonin from Longyan village took advantage of the fact that Shisha was still surprised and shot without hesitation. Before Shisha had time to react, he was forced back by the water sting suddenly blasting in front of him, and was even injured. Who are you? Jonin from Rain Shinobi village was only injured, and he was able to speak while being supported by Oboro, but when he saw this huge white snake appear, his expression was very ugly. Orochimaru stood on top of the snake's head, watching them condescendingly. He went looking for Seven Tails Jinchuriki after Naruto and others came to stop Rain Shinobi village from attacking Takihiden village. He didn't expect that the target would appear on the battlefield in the end. If that's the case, don't blame him for being rude. The appearance of Orochimaru finally settled the battle. The people of Rain Shinobi village finally recognized who it was. Orochimaru. Chapter 140. At the critical moment, the white snake must be on top. Advertisement Orochimaru suddenly appeared and stood on the side of Longyan village. Everyone in Rain Shinobi village was even a little stunned. It's because they have traveled between countries and haven't received the list of Heron village. Although they know that there is a new force in the near future, they haven't gotten any specific news yet. Heron village is like a piece of iron, unless Corazon is willing, no news will fly out. The arrival of Orochimaru made little Sakura breathe a sigh of relief. What's up with him? After Orochimaru landed, he frowned and looked at Naruto who seemed abnormal. Little Sakura only had time to say what she guessed. As for Sasuke, she didn't say much. Orochimaru could also see that Sasuke was just using too much force, and he can recover after a short rest. Plenty of chakra is coming. Sasuke, who was tired at first, just felt refreshed. Thank you, mentor. Sasuke immediately stood up, and at the same time completely let Orochimaru see Naruto's situation behind him. This situation Orochimaru has seen many times in the past. It's just Jinchuriki and Nine Tails fighting for control of the body. It seems that after the awakening of 3 Tails, 9 Tails can't bear to continue to be sealed, and began to wait for an opportunity. Orochimaru's eyes flickered, and the huge white snake seemed to understand the meaning of its master, and wanted to take Naruto back in its mouth. Naruto only felt that there was a familiar smell very close to him. It seems to be that white snake. Thinking of the feeling of being in the mouth of the white snake, Naruto opened his eyes instantly. Stop, no, shut up. White snake. Ooh, Naruto was a little weak, but he still held out his hand to stop it very persistently. I'm fine. He didn't know what demon he saw just now, he seemed unable to control his body. Fortunately, he opened his eyes at the last moment, otherwise he would have to experience the feeling of being alive in the snake's mouth again. Advertisement Naruto feels terrified when he thinks about it. Sasuke never expected that the white snake could have some usefulness, and he could let Naruto, who was caught in a tug of war with 9 Tails, quickly control his body by himself. I have to say that with Naruto, anything is possible. Little Sakura held her forehead. Just wake up. Just now she was worried about what if Naruto couldn't grab the 9 Tails. Naruto scratched his head in embarrassment. He is very aware of his body, and after he recovered, he also guessed that the 9 Tails in his body were causing trouble. Asterisk. It looks like you have to get stronger. Naruto clenches his fist secretly. Seeing that he was also awake, Orochimaru waved his hand immediately. The white snake seemed a little disappointed in not being able to swallow Naruto into its mouth, but it still obediently faded away. Everyone in Longyan village finally digested the 3 words, Orochimaru, until the white snake disappeared. This pale man is Orochimaru. Is it Orochimaru who is the most powerful in the legend but only wants to find the longevity technique? Everyone in Longyan village looked at the three of Naruto with trembling eyes, and suddenly began to wonder if they were from Konoha village. The people of Konoha village shouldn't be with Orochimaru, right? Even so, Longyan village didn't even think about crossing the river and demolishing the bridge. They didn't forget who came forward to help them at the critical moment, even if the other party had a frightening Orochimaru. Everyone in Longyan village still forcibly held back their trembling legs and stood in front of Orochimaru. Shibuki's tattoo due to the water of the hero has not receded. After he put down Fu, he bowed deeply to Orochimaru and the others. Chapter 141 Seven Tails Jinchuriki, Fu. Advertisement. Orochimaru just glanced at him casually, his attention was more on Seven Tails Jinchuriki. For Longyan village, Fu is definitely a special existence. Although they are peaceful by nature, the existence of this girl means that there will be struggle. Seven Tails is in Fu's body, because Fu is still young and has not been sealed for a long time, so Seven Tails can't break through. 680. For the time being, but all this is only temporary. Fu is innocent and brave, but with her talent and the strength of Long Yinkun, no one thinks that Fu can obtain the ability to suppress Seven Tails Chome. Fu's experience is roughly similar to that of Naruto, where any Jinchuriki is born to be scary. There is powerful power sealed in their bodies, but they cannot control this power, so the existence of all Jinchuriki may lead to an irreversible disaster as early as possible. Naruto is luckier than Biff. After he has Kakashi as a mentor, he has gained a group of partners, but Kefu has nothing. This girl with short green hair was mentioned by Deki in village but had to take care of her. Everyone is afraid of Seven Tails running out. Sage of Six Paths Otsutsuki Yuya's 9-point chakra from 10 Tails body, 7 Tails power even ranks 3rd. Even Konoha village can't resist the power of the tailed beast, let alone Tekian village, which is already vulnerable. Who is this? After Naruto was almost dragged into chaos by 9 Tails, Fu was shown by Shisha as a whole card, so when Naruto returned to normal, he looked at Orochimaru staring at Fu with some curiosity. Probably because Orochimaru's gaze was too direct, the village elder Takigakushi subconsciously hid Fu behind him, and his movements were even more obvious. Advertisement. Naruto let out a, green hair looks pretty. Little soccer equals. Shut up, did he really not realize that the current atmosphere was not right? Sasuke seemed to have guessed something, and chose to keep silent. In the end, Naruto stood up and said embarrassedly, "We are the Chunin group who came to carry out the mission from Heron village, and this is our mentor Orochimaru." See Ninja village, isn't it from Konoha village? That's right, the Shisha seems to have called them to Konoha village just now. The people in Longyan village began to whisper. Naruto scratched his head, "Have you guys been out for a long time?" Everyone in Longyan village was taken aback. This is. In the end, Shiki, who had grown up suddenly after this battle, stood up and assumed the responsibility of the leader. "Thank you for your help, but I don't know where Heron village is." He probably discovered the misunderstanding between them, and also knew the disadvantages of Tekian village's escapism, so he was very open-minded. Seriously speaking, Shibuki is not a few years older than Naruto and the others, so it is hard for Shibuki to feel bad for this boy with yellow hair and bright smile who is about his age. Konoha village, Sanagakure, and Kirigakure are all under the unified management of Heian village. It's normal that the news of you has been hiding from the world for too long. Naruto counted with his fingers. Chapter 142. Try to look sincere. Advertisement. What? Konoha village is willing to surrender to this sea ninja village they have never heard of? I don't know where this sea ninja village is. Shiki's attitude is very respectful, and in his heart he already regards Heron village as the place where Ryuchi Cave and other immortals live. Only this kind of holy place will make the largest ninja villages willing to obey them? In the land of waves, Naruto spread his hands and dropped a bomb. The land of waves. Shiki was dumbfounded. Although he has never been out at 16, he also knows that the land of waves is the poorest place. Not only does he not have a ninja village, but there are no people who know ninjutsu. Such a country composed entirely of ordinary humans would suddenly rise to such a powerful ninja village. For a moment, Shibuki wondered if Naruto was teasing him. But seeing Naruto's serious expression, he realized again that what Naruto said is true. What's more, not even Orochimaru refuted it. Longyan village has maintained a friendly relationship with Konoha village all year round, but they are still unwilling to contact the outside world, so only a few fixed elders have the right to communicate with Konoha village. Konoha village has not had time to sort out such a big event, so the news is a step behind. After understanding it thoroughly, I am even more in awe. Such a powerful village would actually send people to them. Could it be that Rain Shinobi village will attack? Thinking of this, Shiki didn't dare to neglect them even more. After this incident, the young leader finally understands the dangers in the world, and at the same time begins to know how to win people's hearts. Advertisement. Almost instantly, the resting place for Naruto and others was arranged. Longyan village has no contact with the outside world all year round. Although the village is still the most primitive building, it retains the most common but most beautiful scenery. Compared with Konoha village, although there is a little less sunshine here, it is a little more secluded because of the surrounding water vapor. Shiki took the lead, kneeling and sitting in the reception room. As a place where no foreign visitors come all the year round, it is very good for them to have a reception room. Although there are not many guests, the people in Longyan village are very hospitable. Especially after they saw Naruto and his party protect them. All kinds of special snacks of Longyan village are placed on the table, as if they are going to eat them up. Shiki smiled embarrassedly. The conditions in Takian village are poor, please don't mind. What's the matter? Naruto put a snack in his mouth, it's really delicious. Little Sakura silently rolled her eyes, did he forget something important? Shibuki took a sneak peek at Orochimaru who was sitting in the front, he 897 dare not look directly at this adult until now. Who gave Orochimaru a bad name? They thought it was normal for Konoha village to lend a helping hand, but no one expected that Orochimaru would come too. This is a god of death. I don't know if the Lord has any orders for you to come to Longyan village? Shibuki still asked after deliberating. Well, in fact, we came here on the order of your superiors, and we want your heroes. Naruto tried hard to open his eyes wide to look sincere. He has found out. The people of Longyan village value the water of heroes very much, if they ask for it rashly, they may be regarded as enemies by them. Chapter 143 Don't be so tight advertisement really. As soon as Naruto's voice fell, all the people in Takigakure in the reception room froze. They just managed to repel Rain Shinobi village, and there is another wave of people who want to compete for the hero's water. Rain Shinobi village and the others still have the power to fight back, but Orochimaru. Shiki's face turned pale. He's facing Orochimaru, and another bottle of hero's water is useless. As if sensing their thoughts, Orochimaru suddenly smiled. With his pale face coupled with his frightening smile, Shiki felt his whole body was stiff. I thought it was reinforcements, but I didn't expect it to be another wave of enemies. There seems to be an emotion called tension spreading in the air. Even the little Sakura put down the food in her hands, and stared at the people in Takian village with some vigilance. She knows that Longyan village attaches great importance to the water of heroes, so she is wary of the people in Longyan village who will suddenly attack after they know their purpose. Suddenly, a leisurely voice interrupted everyone's silence. Don't be so tense. Naruto continued to stuff things into his mouth while waving his hands. His kind attitude made Shibuki relax a lot. At least now, it seems that the other party has no intention of grabbing it. That's where you come to ask for the hero's water. Advertisement. Shibuki breathed a sigh of relief. Since you are here to ask for the water of heroes, it will be easy to handle. From ancient times to the present, they have also received countless people who came to ask for the hero's water, some paid high prices, and some bartered. However, the rule handed down by Longyan village from a long time ago is that the water of heroes must never be passed on outside, so regardless of any conditions, it was rejected by Longyan village. Maybe it's because those who know the location of Longyan village are too upright, or they are afraid of the existence of heroic water. In short, Longyan village's passive and secluded attitude has always existed in the war-torn Five Kingdoms and has never been received. Violation. The attack of Rain Shinobi village this time was also due to internal problems in Longyan village. Shisha, the Great Elder, betrayed Longyan village and joined forces with Rain Shinobi village to snatch the hero's water. Otherwise, the secrets of Longyan village would not be exposed so easily. If you all come to ask for the hero's water, we may not be able to agree. Shiki looked embarrassed. You saved the village, and you saved us too, so Longyan village owes you a favor. Except for the hero's water, you can mention it. Longyan village was destroyed, thanks to the people in front of it, it was safe and sound. For Longyan village, this is a life-saving favor. So it's okay to ask them to do their best to repay. The enthusiastic and kind-hearted residents of Longyan village all take it as a matter of course to repay their kindness. Naruto was about to haggle again when he heard Orochimaru speak out suddenly. Give me the 7 tails Jinchuriki. The faces of everyone in Longyan village instantly turned livid. Sure enough, Orochimaru discovered Fu's identity instantly. Shiki wanted to slap himself on the mouth right now. Let you agree to whatever you just said, and in an instant someone else made a request that is also impossible to meet. Chapter 144 Because he is Uzumaki Naruto. Advertisement. This. Can't. Shiki's eyes were full of apology and defense. 7 tails Jinchuriki is a serious matter. If it escapes, it will be a disaster for the world. More importantly, 7 tails still remembers that it was the people of Longyan village who sealed her away. So he will come for revenge. For this reason, the people in Longyan village can only look at Fu carefully while being worried and afraid. Shiki really can meet this request. Even if it takes 10,000 steps back, Fu is not 7 tails Jinchuriki, she is just an ordinary girl, and he has no right to decide where Fu goes. Orochimaru sneered, as if 050 was laughing at them. The elders of Longyan village blushed. I really didn't expect that the other party's 2 requests in a row would be impossible for them to meet, but they should go back. Also unlikely. Naruto's expression, which was still very active, suddenly changed color when he heard 7 tails Jinchuriki. That girl with green hair is a Jinchuriki like him. Naruto knew how unfairly Jinchuriki would be treated in the ninja village, and he immediately echoed Orochimaru's words. You can't actually keep her, BGAG. Everyone in Longyan village lowered their heads in silence. There is really no way. If I had, I would have solved this problem long ago, but they have not found a solution until Fu grows up to be a slim girl. After killing Fu, 7 tails Jinchuriki will break free from the shackles and seals of this body, and be free from now on. If 7 tails is forcibly pulled out, Fu will also die, and it will also make 7 tails wild again. Advertisement. The 2 roads forward and backward are all blocked. But they also can't hand over Fu, because no one knows what Orochimaru wants 7 tails to do. That's Orochimaru. Sheki gritted his teeth. The heat on his face reminded him of his broken promise just now. He was about to ask them to make another request, but suddenly heard a crisp voice. Your Majesty can solve the troubles brought by 7 tails, don't you all want to? What? Shiki raised his head sharply. With hope shining in his eyes, Shiki could hardly hear his own voice. Really? Really? Of course it's true. Naruto didn't want to reveal his identity, but they have other examples in Heron Village. Three Tails is also in Heron Village now. Senior Lin is learning how to control Three Tails. When we set off, she seemed to have matured a bit. Corazon, Sarutobi Hiruzen, Orochimaru and Zuo Liang, these big guys are dispatched at the same time. It is not difficult to find a suitable way to practice Jinchuriki. Sarutobi Hiruzen is still in Chiron Village, in fact, to teach Nohara Rin. Naruto can act freely with Corazon's acquiescence, because Corazon knows that although Naruto is still young, he will still control Nine Tails. Because he is Uzumaki Naruto, Three Tails Isofu, the silent elder of Takine Village gasped. The Jinchuriki of Three Tails Jifu is actually in Hiren Village, and the young man's tone seems to be learning how to control the three tails in his body. In this way, wouldn't Fu also be able to? At this moment, everyone was shaken. What they have been unable to do in their entire lives, and now someone can finally solve it, so can they. Chapter 145 Gradually shaken advertisement. Shibuki gritted his teeth. How can I believe what you said is true? They had lost contact with the outside world for a long time, and Shiki didn't know whether the person in front of him was telling the truth or not, and he couldn't even be sure if the person in front of him was from Konoha village. Isn't it believable? Naruto was more surprised than he was, pointing at Orochimaru with one hand and said, Kinnan Village's queen's mentor, and also a strong man praised by his majesty, is sitting in front of you. What good is lying? As long as we think, you can't stop it. Although Sasuke said few words, he hit the nail on the head. Shiki's face changed, because he knows Sasuke is right. As long as they wanted to, they could indeed take Fu away at any time, and Longyan Village had no power to fight back. If it is fake, there is no need to talk so much nonsense. Now that the other party is willing to sit down and discuss with them, it represents their sincerity. But Shibuki still doesn't feel good. Fu is Seven Tails. People in the village know about it but keep it a secret. The outside world rarely knows about Seven Tails. In Takii Village. How do they know? From what the other party said, it seems that they not only got a tailed beast, what do they want to do? Nine Tails and One Tail are also in Seven Ninja Village. Naruto once again threw out heavy news, concealing some of the facts, but he really didn't, lying. Nine Tails and One Tail are surrounded. Didn't One Tail have been on Tsunagakure? Correct. Shibuki suddenly realized that Tsunagakure has already bowed his head like Chiron Village, so it is no wonder that One Tail Shukakure will be in Chiron Village. In addition, I hope you can also seriously consider our first request. First request. Advertisement Water of Heroes? Shiki shook his head instantly. There's no need to mention the Water of Heroes, we need to consider Fu's matter. Consider, Orochimaru said again, Takian Village will soon be in danger, and you have run out of time. Although what he said hurts, it is the truth. Although they wiped out the enemies that Rain Shinobi Village came to attack this time, everyone in Longyan Village didn't know how many people Shisha had told the location of Longyan Village. The hidden location of Longyan Village is probably no longer a secret, and there is a traitor among them. Longyan Village will fall into boundless war for many years to come. All of this is just because of the heroic water. Shibuki smiled wryly. Every man is innocent and conceives his crime. The peace of Longyan Village for thousands of years has been completely broken from today. Maybe he should choose another path. Asking for flowers. I need to ask Fu's opinion. Shibuki gritted his teeth, as if he had been persuaded. He can no longer protect Fu, and Longyan Village can no longer hide the existence of Seven Tails. If there is a stronger place to go, it will be the best for Fu and them. Fu hasn't woken up yet. The illusion given to her by the Shisha may have caused her to fall into confusion. Seven Tails is also ready to move in this situation. Fu's body can't bear the intensity and will faint. After looking at Fu lying on the bed, Shemu couldn't help but asked, where did Fu go this time? Shisha brought the people of Rain Shinobi Village into a rage. They only found out that Fu was missing a few days ago, and they didn't have time to track it down. According to the last message she left, we guess she should have gone for the Chunin exam. Enbu has always been active in the outside world, but he doesn't often report outside news. Longyan Village seems to be isolated from the secular world, not communicating with the outside world, nor taking the initiative to obtain news. Only when the boss needs, Enbu will send the news they collected. This year's Chunin exam was held in Heron Village. Fu should have been caught by the hookah before she arrived. Chapter 146. The Girl Lost in the Endless Illusion. Advertisement etc. This year's Chunin exam is also held in Chiron Village? Shibuki glanced at Orochimaru and the others standing at the door in surprise. So, what they just said is indeed true, and there is no lie. This newly emerging ninja village has indeed developed to such an extent that they are hard to come by. After confirming the authenticity of the news about Hiren Village, Shibuki's eyes were complicated. He didn't expect that the 640 would miss so much news from the outside world because they closed the village just because they didn't want to participate in the Ninja World War. Now that Longyan Village is forced to finally contact the outside world, as the leader, he seems to have to do something. Orochimaru leaned against the wooden wall, seemingly too lazy to talk to them. Naruto can only act as an explanation. We all passed this year's Chunin exam, but I didn't see Fu taking it. Although there are many people taking the test, Naruto thinks that beauty is such a unique existence that if you see it, you will never forget it. Sasuke also nodded, confirming his statement. So it is true that Fu was arrested before reaching Heron Village. You said you want to hear her own opinion. How can you ask if she's not awake? Naruto spread his hands, seemingly speechless. Could these people be any more unreliable? The first time he came out with Kakashi, Naruto was also an ignorant boy. After going through the Chunin exam in Jiraiya, an unreliable teacher, Naruto faintly had a decision to be his own. Sasuke never bothered to take care of these things, and little Sakura, because Naruto was more lively, simply took a lazy, only responsible for supplementing important news. As for Orochimaru, advertisement Naruto doesn't really expect a long-winded explanation from their teacher, who cherishes words like gold. Let's see how he persuades the people of Longin Village with his eloquence. At that time, His Majesty will definitely praise him. Naruto is happy in his heart, but he doesn't show it on his face. Cough, are you unable to wake her up? The medical ninja of Takian Village is a little embarrassed. Although Naruto said it badly, he found that he really couldn't wake Fu. Naruto winked. Sakura, why don't you try it? The medical ninja trained by Tsunade herself. Little Sakura has always kept a low profile, and it's time for her to practice with someone other than Jiraiya. After he said this, everyone remembered that the pink-haired girl who had been silent by their side was also a powerful medical ninja, thanks to her in the battle against Rain Shinobi Village. Taki Hidden Village Jonin can quickly recover and join the battle, Then it will be troublesome. Shiki hesitated for a moment and decided to agree. Little Sakura's medical ninjutsu was taught by Tsunade, and Jiraiya, a living experiment, gave her treatment and learning. She knows all kinds of ninja scars like the back of his hand. After a cursory inspection, little Sakura was sure she's not hurt. There is no injury at all. Mo just lost herself in the endless illusion. Sometimes, fate is often not distributed according to people's wishes. 2.1 When the Seven Tails Jinchuriki in Fu's body was first implanted, the elders of Longin Village knew that it would be discovered one day. So they kept this secret carefully all the time, but no one thought that Fu would run out by herself because of their overly careful attitude. Even encountering a strong person like Huka awakened the Seven Tails in her body in advance. This is a great opportunity for Seven Tails. Chapter 147. Snap your fingers. Advertisement Since being sealed, Seven Tails has fallen into a deep sleep, and unless the possessed Jinchuriki is greatly impacted and cannot control the killing intent in his heart, the tail beast will generally not be awakened. This time, Kefu was confused by the water smoke by mistake and got lost in the endless illusion. The seal of Seven Tails was also touched because of this, so I found that I seemed to have an opportunity. This is a great opportunity. Take the opportunity to seduce this girl and you can completely own her body. It has been sealed for too long, and I have almost forgotten what it feels like to move freely. Hateful human ninja. 16 finally has a chance to go out. Seven Tails can even feel the vibration from the soul. Who? Seemingly aware of this wave of chakra, Shibuki suddenly turned his head. It's not someone else. Little Sakura put down Fu's hand, her complexion. The Seven Tails in her body is probably about to awaken. That's why Fu can't control the chakra in her body. In fact, it is more correct to say that it is the chakra of Seven Tails. For Fu herself, she really doesn't have such a powerful power. Shibuki immediately tensed up. The elders of Longin Village frowned. Seven Tails is trying to hit the seal. It seems that the only way to do it is to seal it again. Otherwise, there is no need to wait to ask Fu's opinion. They may never see that girl with a bright smile again. But, another elder struggled. With our ability, we can really. The ones who sealed the Seven Tails were the strongest ninjas of the previous generation of Longin Village, and because of the Seven Tails rebellion, they were forced to lose their lives, and the strength of Longin Village was greatly reduced. The elders are not afraid of giving their lives for Longin Village. What they worry about is whether their abilities are not enough. Advertisement The strongest ninja of the previous generation is infinitely close to the existence of Shadow. And they're just special Jonin. How can the gap be explained in a few words? Naruto looked at this and that, and quickly understood their difficulty. Naruto snapped his fingers quickly, attracting everyone's attention. If we can reseal Seven Tails, can you agree to allow her to return to Sea Ninja Village with us if she is willing? A struggling look flashed across Shiki's face, and he was finally persuaded by Naruto. As long as Fu agrees, we have no objection. Leader, some elders didn't seem to agree with how he arbitrarily agreed to their conditions, and couldn't help but speak out, but were stopped by the technique. Elder Long, the life and death of Longin Village depends on me. As the leader, I have a sense of proportion. In the past, even though he was the leader, he still insisted on following the opinions of all the elders and never made his own decisions. Maybe what Shisha said is partly true. 053 In the past, he was indeed too cowardly, not like a city leader at all. The young leader of Longin Village finally started to grow. Elder Long seemed to want to say something, but another elder quickly grabbed him. The other three elders were very pleased. The leader finally grew up and began to understand his responsibilities. This is the only blessing in disguise in this disaster, right? Your Excellency Orochimaru, sorry for your trouble. Shibuki turned around and bowed slightly to Orochimaru, with a respectful but not humble attitude. Behind him represents the entire Longin Village. You can respect the strong, but you must not bend your back. Chapter 148 That's it. Advertisement The young leader's transformation finally made Orochimaru willing to open his eyes for a while. Seemingly satisfied with their understanding, Orochimaru narrowed his eyes slightly. Everyone felt that there was a gust of wind blowing by at this moment. They couldn't even open their eyes. They could only prop up chakra in a hurry to resist. Only those with stronger strength can detect the chakra in Fu's body gradually becoming stable in the strong wind. That's it. When the wind stopped, Everyone in Longyan village looked at Fu, who seemed to be waking up, and the same voice sounded from the bottom of their hearts. The seals they have seen every time are extremely complicated, and even consume chakra extremely. Especially the more powerful the sealed thing is, the more expensive it will be for the sealer. But Orochimaru doesn't seem to have moved a single finger. It's nothing like what they know. Could it be that their posture for learning seal ninjutsu is wrong? Everyone in Longyan village was stunned. Fortunately, at this moment, Fu, who groaned, pulled their attention back in time. Hey, why am I in the village? Fu opened her eyes and the first thing she found was her situation. Shouldn't I be on my way to the Chunin exam? It seems that their guess was right. Mang sneaked away to the Chunin exam. It's been almost 2 months since the Chunin exam. Sasuke told her the bad news very calmly. What? Fu's face was dull as if she had been greatly shocked. I have slept for 2 months. It seems that she should not know that she was caught by the hookah. Advertisement, elders, and Chief Shemu, what are you all doing around me? After the shock was finally over, Fu had time to observe the surroundings. There were a few more people she didn't know, who seemed to be around her age, but the one with the yellow hair didn't look very smart. Yellow-haired Naruto who doesn't look very smart equals. We are Konoha Shinobi. This Fu completely wrote what she was thinking on her face. It was hard for him not to see what she was thinking. Naruto even heard Sasuke sneer. Fu rubbed her forehead. Elder hookah turned traitor? Shibuki nodded, began to finish all the things to her, and finally asked with a complicated face. If there was a place where you could get rid of 7 tails in your body, would you go there? Needless to say, Fu is definitely willing, of course. Fu nodded happily, but added slightly, isn't that place in the village? Not here. The elder who held Elder Long just now answered her gently. For Fu, their senses are also complicated. It is true that she is the girl they grew up watching and is also a member of Longyan village, but the Jinchuriki in her body makes everyone afraid to touch it. The elder sighed slightly, but it's okay if you don't want to go. Qian knew how. Not in the village, that's a faraway place? Naruto immediately answered, Kinnan village is not far away. It's in the land of waves. Don't you plan to go to the land of waves when you take the Chunin exam? And maybe you can meet many acquaintances in the future. Meet a lot of acquaintances? What does it mean? Fu was at a loss. What Naruto means is of course that Takikakure will choose to agree to Orochimaru's request in the end, because they have no better choice. Chapter 149. Things are dead, people are alive advertisement. Any ninja village that finally decides to join the Sea Ninja village cannot help but send a group of ninjas to the Sea Ninja village for training. There is no other reason, the lineup of instructors is extremely shocking. Orochimaru, Tsunade, Jiraiya, Konoha Sannin teamed up, and the 7 Ninja Swordsmen, and those who feel strong even though they can't see their strength and origin. If the young people in their village can accept the teachings of these strong men, the strength of the whole village will be improved, right? Fu finally chose to agree. She left Longyan village to attend the Chunin conference because she didn't want to stay in the village without being able to see the outside world, and she didn't know how to face the whole village. Like Naruto, Fu knew that she was different from others since she was a child. So she can only choose to leave. Shibuki doesn't want Fu's choice. Putting aside other prejudices, if what this person said is true, then this place called Heron village is the best place for Fu. Takian village can't protect her, it's even hard to protect itself. Fu's nod means that Seven Tails Chome officially belongs to Chiron village. Orochimaru smiled for a moment. Naruto sensed his fleeting emotions, and roughly guessed that this should be Orochimaru's mission. Instructor Orochimaru completed his task, but they haven't yet. We must find a way to get the people of Takian village to agree to take away the water of heroes. Sasuke said, what should Takian village do next? Next? Shiki paused. So far he is only thinking about the problem of reluctance, and has no plans for the next thing. Advertisement: the location of Longyan village has been revealed, but it is not a secret to have the water of heroes. From this moment on, people who want the water of heroes will arrive in an endless stream. Takiid village. Shibuki clenched his fists fiercely. Would you rather destroy the entire Longyan village than change the so-called rules? In your eyes, this thing is really more important than the entire Longyan village residents. These are real people. Little Sakura is very puzzled. It is only right and proper for ninjas to protect the village, and little Sakura will also swear to the death to defend Konoha village and Sea Ninja village, but the people of Longyan village will take the lives of the whole village just for this one. BGEI. Hero water that they cannot even use easily. No matter how you look at it, it is a loss-making business. Elder Long was a little annoyed by what they said, and couldn't help but retorted, the water of heroes is the foundation of Longyan village's inheritance for thousands of years. It is the wealth left by the ancestors. So you would rather die with this thing? Sasuke sneered, things are dead, but people are alive. That's right. Some things must be defended to the death, such as faith, but some things should be given up when they should be given up. For Longyan village, we are willing to give everything. Elder Long blushed and had a thick neck. Naruto spread his hands, a little helpless. What's more, with the strength of Takian village, if you really encounter an enemy as strong as Rain Shinobi village, it will be useless even if you take over the entire village. When the village is gone, the water of heroes will be gone, and you will really willing. What he said was not pleasant, but every word was true. Shiki has been listening to their conversation without interrupting, and his heart is full of entanglements. What's the next step? He inherited the position of leader of Longyan village, but has been cowardly hiding behind the elders. Will he continue to listen to the words of Elder Long and others this time? Shibuki suddenly wanted to listen to himself once. What do you want Hero's Water for? Chapter 150. Take a gamble. Advertisement, boss. Elder Long watched Shiki grow up, and heard the wavering in Shiki's tone almost immediately. It's about the life and death of Takian village. Even if they wanted to let Shiki make up their minds, they can't listen to Shiki at this moment. Naruto was momentarily at a loss for words. He really doesn't seem to know what Corazon wants Hero Water to do. Immediately, Naruto patted his chest confidently and assured, in short, it's a good thing. Your Majesty will not do bad things. In the hearts of Naruto and other teenagers, Corazon's status seems to be respected. The other elder was old and mature, of course. He could tell right away that Naruto himself didn't know it. He was just blindly confident, and couldn't help but wonder, are you all so confident? What made this group of Konoha shinobi believe in that shinobi village, and in the gods in their mouths? Shiki looked at the boys who were about his age in front of him, and actually wanted to be friends with them. Although there is no clear evidence, he subconsciously feels that they are not bad people. I would like to go back to Sea Ninja Village with you. Shiki suddenly made up his mind. Boss. This is too hasty. Elder Long disagreed with this decision very much. Shiki is the leader of Longyan Village. If something happens to him, the whole Longyan Village will be hit hard. Orochimaru glanced at Elder Long with a gloomy look. He was the one who kept singing the opposite tune, so he really wanted to kill him. But then I thought about what Corazon said, because the snake showed its killing intent again. A group of old people who have been huddled in their own safe zone all year round have almost lost the courage to venture outside. It is naturally difficult for them to accept Heron Village. Fortunately, the leaders of Longyan Village's generation are young and full of vigor, and their eyes are full of infinite possibilities. Advertisement. Orochimaru's eyes made Elder Takashi shrink back in fright. When he opened his mouth to refute, he forgot that there was such a big killing god beside him. But even if Orochimaru threatens with force, Elder Long may not agree so easily. Sheki turned around and bowed deeply to the three elders who looked concerned. Elder Long and the others were taken aback. Boss, what are you doing? The elders are all thinking about the village, but this time I want to take a gamble. Asking for flowers. Even if he tries his best, he can't fight against the enemies that may appear next, and he can't even protect the villagers. So he is willing to choose to take a gamble in this situation and believe what the few people in front of him say. Even if he loses the bet, the result should not be much worse, because Longyan Village itself has reached a critical moment of life and death. Elders, what do you think is the way forward for Longyan Village? The three elders remained silent. Even the most impulsive Elder Long just opened his mouth, but probably didn't know what to say, so he closed it again. They don't understand the current situation. There is no way to retreat. The only choice is to fight to the death. But when people are cornered and another road suddenly appears in front of them, everyone will subconsciously wonder if this is another trap, right? Shiki couldn't help waving his clenched fist. The water of heroes has been integrated into my body, and now I am the water of heroes. I want to see what kind of place Sea Ninja Village is like. He wants to see with his own eyes what it means to be able to make Naruto and others love the place so much. Chapter 151. Inexplicably strong team advertisement. When you can no longer go back, choose to move forward. The water of heroes has been fused into Shiki's blood, and now Shiki is equivalent to a humanoid chakra enhancement machine. As long as you drink his blood, it will have the same effect as drinking the hero's water. People in the world only know the water of heroes, but they don't know how the people in Longyan Village passed it on. Now this mysterious veil has finally been lifted. 597. Naruto looked dumbfounded. In that case, isn't Shibuki in front of him like a living Shichuan Dabuon? No wonder the Whitebeard elders in Longyan Village are so opposed to him going back to Heron Village with them. Shiki went back with them. Doesn't it mean that Hero Water has grown heels and went back with them? Little Sakura and Sasuke figured this out right away too. Each other's looks relaxed. I thought they would have to fight to force them to hand it over, but at the critical moment, Shemu mustered up the courage to stand up. Elders, please believe me. Shiki raised his head, his gaze extremely firm. If all this is just a scam, I will definitely not let them get the hero's water. Their eyes are determined. It is not difficult to guess what he is thinking. Shibuki gritted his teeth and turned to Naruto. His eyes were slightly red. I believe in you. I just hope I didn't believe the wrong person this time. Naruto didn't expect Shibuki to agree to his proposal so easily, and he was actually holding back his words to persuade him. But as long as the end result is good, the rest doesn't matter. Don't worry. Teacher Orochimaru guarantees you, don't you believe it? Advertisement. Elder Long and others. Honestly, Orochimaru made the whole thing so confusing, can't believe it. The mission of Hero's Water came to a successful conclusion in such a completely unexpected way. Because of Shibuki's wit, Orochimaru conveniently added another layer of knot springs to the periphery of Takian Village before leaving. Cage-level powerhouses can't break through. As if understanding the doubts in Elder Long's eyes, Orochimaru kindly explained to him for the first time. Elder Long, who insisted on going to High Ren Village with his luggage on his back, blushed instantly. How embarrassing this is. It should be. Naruto pulled Shiki and stepped out of the waterfall side by side with him, thinking that if you don't give you a layer of protection, they probably have enemies again as soon as they leave. With Orochimaru's words, I finally feel at ease. On his trip to Heron Village, the people in the village were the ones he worried about the most. The attack of Rain Shinobi Village damaged many houses in the village, and many residents were still repairing when they left. As if they knew what Shemu was going out for this time, many villagers spontaneously gathered and watched them leave. "Oh young chief, please be sure to lead Longyan village to become stronger." Shi 0.5 Mu calmly accepted all the eyes full of expectations, and his steps became more and more firm. No matter what method he uses, he must protect Longyan village. There were 4 people here, 2 Orochimaru and Sasuke who don't like to talk, plus a little Sakura who likes to listen more, and Naruto is left to chatter and liven up the atmosphere. When they go back, their team has grown a lot. Chapter 152 The Outside World. Advertisement. Shiki, Fu, and Elder Long, who insisted on following up, returned with them. After walking out of the waterfall, Elder Long looked at the forest in a daze for a moment. It looks like the same forest as Takigakure, but this is indeed the outside. After all, he hasn't come out for 20 years, right? It turns out that the flowers outside are still luxuriant. Even if the war continues, it has not damaged the beauty of this world. Little Sakura is happy to have a companion on the way back. She and Fu are both girls, and they have completely different personalities, but they are surprisingly in tune. This is the second time for Fu to go out, so she is still very excited. No matter what she sees, she always looks fresh. The last time she left 16 doors, she sneaked out to take the Chunin exam by herself. As a result, he was cast under an illusion before he even arrived at the exam location. This time, with the little Sakura on the side, he explained the things that Takian village didn't have along the way, and Zan seemed to be very dependent on her. Little Sakura. What's this? Little Sakura looked at the bird that was about to faint from fright when Fu raised it above her head, and explained with a twitching corner of her mouth. What about this one? The white ones are in full bloom in a large cluster, which are flowers that are not available in Takian village. And this, he is a child of ordinary people, he doesn't know ninjutsu at all, and he has no attack power. It is estimated that he has not even started enlightenment. Etc. Little Sakura stopped abruptly. Advertisement. Where did this child come from? Looking at the human child who was about to cry, the little Sakura almost couldn't control her tone. Mei was stunned for a moment, then pointed not far away and said, "Just now he was floating in the water, I caught him when I saw him." Sure enough, the child's clothes were soaked through. It looks like a human child who accidentally fell into the water, right? Naruto poked the child's dimple, and finally made the child cry. A crying human child is tantamount to a mental attack. Sasuke couldn't help frowning. Orochimaru is very direct. A silencing spell, the world is silent. Shiki also left the village for the first time, but he seemed much more stable than Fu. After all, he grew up suddenly. Or send it back. The little Sakura had no choice but to walk up the river with Fu, and as expected, she met the crying fishermen, and saw them coming back with their children in their arms. Thank you. Thank you. The peasant woman who thought that the child had fallen into the water and was washed away was so grateful that she almost knelt down for them. Fu stared at her curiously. She was experiencing these things, these people for the first time. So what is the world of ordinary people like? 043. You don't need to thank me. She saved it. Naruto walked in the front, so the grateful peasant woman happened to thank him nonstop, and he could only point to the curious green head next to him, causing trouble to come. So it was Fu's turn to accept the peasant woman's thanks in a hurry. The child who fell into the water must have caught a cold, so he sneezed very unceremoniously at this moment. After returning to his mother's arms, he stopped crying, and his vocal skills were naturally relieved. Seeing this, little Sakura threw another healing ninjutsu, patted the child's head and said with a smile, "Don't be playful in the future." As he spoke, he pulled Fu, who was still at a loss, to turn around and leave. Chapter 153. Taki village lacking general education. Advertisement. After they left, the peasant woman and other villagers realized what the strange gesture meant. Looking at the child in the peasant woman's arms again, it really stopped sneezing and looked very energetic. It turns out that the one who came here just now is an immortal who knows ninjutsu. The villagers quickly discussed it, and they were even more in awe of the ninja. They are also people who have seen ninjas, and ninja sages also save the children in their village. All sages who know ninjutsu must be very good sages. Ordinary people don't know how cruel the ninja world is, they only know whoever treats them well is the best. Fu also kept asking questions on the way back with Lil Sakura, so they all don't know ninjutsu? Not only do they not know how to do ninjutsu, most of them are ordinary people who do not know ninjutsu in the 5 kingdoms. Konoha village has a clear rule that ordinary people cannot be shot. Little Sakura was a little curious after explaining, shouldn't all these things be taught in the ninja school? Why don't you know anything about it? Shiki coughed lightly. There is no ninja school in Longyan village. All the people in the village are ninjas, and the children who are born are also taught by themselves. Those with outstanding talents will be taught by several elders. As for Fu, who has no father or mother, many people in the village dare not approach her because of Seven Tails Chome. Although the elders taught her on her behalf, the elders only taught her ninjutsu, and these basic knowledge were often ignored by the elders. As a result, Fu sees everything fresh now, and her technical knowledge is basically zero. Little Sakura. Advertisement. No wonder there are so many genins in Longyan village, and they can't beat others. Even if you don't want to contact the outside world, you must have the minimum sense of crisis. If left unchecked like this, Longyan village will be destroyed sooner or later. Seeing Sakura's expression, Shibuki also knew that their village was far from Konoha village, so his face turned slightly red. The past of Takian village has changed a lot, but in the future he will definitely work hard to do his job well. Naruto patted Shibuki on the shoulder. It's okay, you can learn it again when you get to the ninja school in Heron Village. Kakashi instructor is the most careful in talking about these things. Ms. Kakashi. Mr. Kakashi is responsible for the ninjutsu practice of the three of us. The first time I met Zunshang was because Mr. Kakashi took us to the country of waves in. Naruto began to dance and describe the whole process of how he stayed in Chiron Village, and he promised that Kakashi would also teach Wu the theoretical knowledge. Not only Shemu was fascinated by listening, even Fu couldn't help leaning over to listen to him. Kakashi, who was practicing with Tsunade, sneezed suddenly, not knowing that he had been tricked by Naruto. Perhaps Naruto was too embarrassing, little Sakura could only cheer up and add a sentence or two from time to time. Danuo Jiao. But Hiren Village itself does not need their beautification. See Ninja Village led by Corazon, it is impossible to exist in anyone's eyes. Elder Long, who had a bit of common sense, scoffed at the communication between the few of them. He didn't forget that the location of Sea Ninja Village is Nami Country Sea. Even Takikakure, the poorest country in Nami, knows that nothing will change. Where can the ninja village be prosperous in such a place? Chapter 154 Preparations Advertisement Heron Village. Itachi bowed his head and stood behind Corazon, whispering, Your Majesty, Orochimaru has sent a message that they have completed their mission and are on their way back. Corazon sat at the huge round table and watched the rise, and raised his eyebrows when he heard this. Orochimaru moves pretty fast. Seven Tails never existed. Corazon only tentatively arranged for Orochimaru to visit based on his memories of the original plot, but he did not expect good news to come in only half a month. In front of Corazon was a huge round table, made of the hardest diamond, naturally Tezuro's handwriting. The few rooms he proposed to build are now stuck at the most critical step. Corazon is trying to replace the Water of Heroes, so he is experimenting with condensing the enchantment on the desktop. He hasn't encountered such a problem that takes time to solve for a long time. 940, he doesn't find it annoying, and even wants to try it. Where's the heroic water? Bring them back together, Itachi continued, and the leader of Longyan Village. The leader of Takikakure, Shiki? Corazon paused. He doesn't remember much about Shibuki. All I know is that it was also made into a controllable puppet, and in the end it was fused with the Water of Heroes to become a boy with strange powers. The guests are coming soon, let Jiraiya and them get ready. Corazon controlled the flow of chakra with one hand, and his tone was calm. Yes. Itachi only glanced at the table, BGCJ, and was secretly surprised that the control of the Corazon tree chakra is so good. He is in control of every penny, can he do it instead? Itachi is not sure. Sasuke will be back soon, and he has to start the second phase of Sharingan training. To this younger brother, Itachi always owes something in his heart. Ninja School. Mr. Jiraiya, may I ask? Hyuga Hinata patted Jiraiya's shoulder lying on the podium and asked politely. Advertisement. Jiraiya quickly closed the kissing paradise snatched from Kakashi, and raised a serious smile again. It's Hinata. Is there anything I don't understand? He still likes the Hyuga family very much, know how to advance and retreat politely, and never give him face. It's not like the two brothers of the Uchiha family. The big one has a straight face all day long, and the small one looks like a facial paralysis. Senior Jiraiya. While talking bad things about someone in my heart, Jiraiya suddenly heard the voice of the bad guy. Ah, it's Itachi. With a guilty conscience and a misunderstanding of Itachi a few years ago, Jiraiya saw Itachi and couldn't help but increase the volume. At 2h a carat at plus. What are you doing? Itachi looked at him lightly. As the only remaining member of the Uchiha family, Itachi's performance fully supports the family's glory. Jiraiya rubbed her nose resentfully. It's okay, I'm answering questions for the little girl Hinata. He definitely wasn't lazy. Knowing that Itachi was always by Corazon's side, Jiraiya instantly straightened her back, as if she was always so serious. Hyuga Hinata. But she hadn't had time to speak yet. Itachi glanced at Hyuga Hinata, obviously not planning to care about the previous matter. What your majesty ordered can begin. So fast. If Jiraiya was wearing glasses, it would definitely be the expression that the whole glasses would slide off at this moment. Didn't Orochimaru just leave? Seven Tails Chomei arrived so soon? Jiraiya is completely at a loss. When did the irascible tail beast become so easy to deal with? Could it be that he is old? Chapter 155. Misty Forest Advertisement. Is this the entrance to Chiron Village? Shibuki looked at the foggy forest in front of him and said in surprise. Elder Long looked at the large fog in front of him, and the bar spirit attribute was suddenly activated, and he snorted arrogantly. What's the difference between this and Kirigakure? It doesn't look like a big deal. Along the way, Naruto boasted about Chiron Village, and Shibuki and Fu had already become extremely curious about the rumored Chiron Village. But Elder Long thinks that Naruto has been talking nonsense all the time. He doesn't believe that such a place exists at all, let alone in the poorest country of Bo. Shibuki disagreed. Elder Takashi, the fog outside Kirigakure is entirely caused by the environment, but this one should be some kind of ninjutsu. How can the two be the same? His tone of seeking knowledge completely made Elder Long not know what to say. Shibuki continued to persuade with a soft attitude. What's more, we have traveled all the way, and you, Elder, have seen with your own eyes that the living conditions of the residents of the Kingdom of Waves are far from what they used to be. They walked along the way. Everyone in the land of waves lived and worked in peace and contentment, and everyone had bright and satisfied smiles on their faces, as if there was nothing in this world that could bother them, things. Not to mention the Takian village where they live, even Konoha village probably cannot achieve this kind of living condition. The country of Kibo, a small country that was not expected before, has done it. No war, no strife, only peace. What shocked Shimu was more than that, all the scenery and vivid people he had seen along the way were firmly remembered in his mind. Even if this time he reached a consensus with Heron Village and had to return to Longyan Village, he still counted it out to see the outside world once. As for Fu, I don't know if it was because she was so surprised by saving a child. After that, she restrained a lot, as if she was afraid of accepting people's thanks. Little Sakura understands her mentality very well. She has never seen people outside, and she will subconsciously guard against them. Although Fu is older than them, she has actually experienced much less. Advertisement: this fiery and frank girl is like a blank sheet of paper. Fu was still carrying her huge backpack, and the contents inside were mysterious, but she didn't mean to show them, so no one mentioned it. Ask for flowers. The road into the foggy forest may be winding and complicated, so be sure to follow me. Naruto turned his head and gave a special warning. Little Sakura took Fu's hand casually, ready to take her along. Sasuke clasped his hands behind his head and didn't mean to take them with him at all. 0. Shiki had no choice but to follow Naruto. Fu's palms were sweating a lot. The little Sakura comforted, the misty forest is also a layer of enchantment for the village to protect itself from ordinary people breaking in. If we keep up, we can go in safely, don't worry. Fu nodded, but her expression was still a little stiff. Orochimaru didn't speak at all the way, he seemed to be wandering away more often. Elder Long naturally didn't dare to follow him. He's not Naruto. Dare to speak to Orochimaru in that tone. Therefore, Elder Long could only muster up 120,000 points of energy, while looking around, while carefully stepping into the foggy forest. The fog began to thicken. Chapter 157 seems like someone is missing? Advertisement for Naruto and other students who came to Heron Village. This place is actually more like a second home. They also watched with their own eyes that Heron Village has risen from only one sky tower to the entire school. It all seems so unreal. But he just happened. Naruto? Are you back? Lee Locke, who happened to be passing by here, spotted them, came over to say hello, and at the same time bowed respectfully to the big, 770, Shiwan. Mentor Orochimaru. Orochimaru raised his eyelids in response. Huh? Lee Locke. Why are you here? Today's class? Naruto did the math, and found that there seems to be no class that Lee Locke must go to. Lee Locke was assigned to class 2 because of his weaker strength. He usually doesn't meet with Naruto and the others. The reason why we met today is because he has just returned from his mission and hasn't had time to report back to school. You're in such a hurry. Don't tell me you've opened some delicious gourmet restaurant again. Small Sakura looked at Lee Locke. If it wasn't because Orochimaru didn't seem to be willing to come over to say hello, she would have guessed what he was going to do. Lee Locke smiled embarrassingly, and looked behind them again. They are all people who have never met before. Are we driving classmates? He saw that Fu and Shiki were not very old, so he guessed that they should be new students sent by other villages. That's right. These three are shinobu from Takian village. Naruto turned his head happily, wanting to introduce them, but the smile on his face froze instantly. Orochimaru stood aside. Sasuke stood side by side with little Sakura. Little Sakura was holding Fu, and Naruto himself stood with Shibuki. But where did Elder Long go? Advertisement. Shiki and the others haven't looked back since they walked out of the foggy forest. Now they found that Naruto's expression was wrong, so they looked back. Where's Elder Long? Shiki was shocked. How do you get out of the foggy forest without one person? When he came in just now, I reminded him to follow me. It seems that Elder Long didn't listen. Naruto's face was a little ugly. The misty forest is too big. If someone gets lost in it, he can only ask the Black Hole to find someone. Only he is the one who knows the mist shinobi technique best. Orochimaru didn't seem to be surprised by this, and disappeared beside them in an instant. Shiki opened his mouth, and just as he was about to speak, Naruto answered first. Mr. Orochimaru must have received an order from His Majesty. Let's find Elder Takashi first. There will be no danger in the misty forest, but if you stay in it for a long time, I wonder if poor Elder Long thinks they did it on purpose. After listening to their conversation, Lee Locke finally found a chance to intervene. Have any of you lost your companions? Shiki nodded. Elder Long followed at the end. He must have been careless. Then he might have to suffer a bit. Lee Locke spread his hands and said innocently, after you set off, Instructor Leia made some adjustments to the 4.5 Misty Forest. Now he is lost in the Misty Forest and may be attacked. What? Sasuke was a little surprised. Is it the attack method made by Leia teacher with his own ability? Yes. Lee Locke nodded very frankly. That is to say, those who are lost in the forest are very likely to encounter the attack left by the Black Pick Thunder Fang that is comparable to his own. Chapter 158 Sinister Intentions. Advertisement. Elder Long, can he withstand the blow of the Black Ho Thunder Ya? Naruto suddenly shivered. No, we have to find him as soon as possible. What if the grumpy Elder Long gets mad and gets serious and is regarded as an intruder by the foggy forest? It's over. Shibuki figured this out too. In the foggy forest. Elder Long panted heavily. He felt something was wrong. From the beginning to the end, it seemed like there were two people attacking him. One just wanted to warn him, but the other had naked killing intent. These two vigor made it very difficult for him to deal with it. The first 16 are okay. If the latter is hiding in the dark, Elder Long will have to consume a lot of chakra to protect himself from harm. But in this protracted battle, he must be the loser in the end. Those brats must have done it on purpose. I just want to spread them out and defeat them one by one. In his anger, Elder Long only thought about Naruto and the others, but he forgot about the existence of Orochimaru. If he really had evil intentions, there was no need to make such a big detour. Another attack with killing intent strikes from the dark. Elder Long only had time to take half a step back. It's over. At this moment, a pair of ninja swords suddenly appeared in front of him. Advertisement. Who? The sound of the ninja knife slicing Shi Jin sounds so painful, but it is very effective in stopping all attacks. Elder Long bent over in embarrassment, looking at the person who suddenly appeared in front of him. Who are you? Although people saved him, they didn't make him let down his vigilance. The Black Holeya frowned. The whitebeard old man described by Naruto, and he looks very awkward, people want to give him a punch at first glance. Well, it looks right. The Black Holeya stretched out his hand sharply, and jumped out of the foggy forest with the collar on the back of Elder Long's neck. In the dark, an unwilling light flickered for a moment, then turned into blue powder and dissipated. Elder Long was almost dumbfounded and was thrown to the ground by the Black Holeya. Fortunately, Shamu had quick eyesight and quick hands, so he supported him, otherwise, the third elder of Longyan village would have to eat a piece of shit in full view of everyone. Elder Long, are you okay? Shiki asked worriedly. Elder Long doesn't look very well at the moment, the originally neat elder robes have become messy and dirty, and have been scratched a lot. Naruto looked up and down for a long time, and confirmed that this person was only slightly injured, and he might be too nervous to cause this sluggish state, so he couldn't help complaining. Elder Long, you are too disobedient, right? You said it well, you must follow me, but why did you go out by yourself? Although he is an elder, Naruto didn't intend to save face for him this time. 693. The foggy forest has been improved with a black hoe, although it does not kill people, but reckless wandering in it will definitely cause accidents. Hearing Naruto's voice, Elder Long couldn't help but gritted his teeth and said, how dare you say that? Naruto looked confused, what am I afraid of? You guys built this place just to break us apart one by one, you want my life right? Elder Long looked at Naruto almost gnashing his teeth, making it clear that he was treating him as an enemy that could be attacked. This time it was Naruto's turn to be dumbfounded. Are you okay? Say we have sinister intentions. Chapter 159. It seems very lively. Advertisement. Inviting them to be guests so well, and introducing them so enthusiastically along the way, why do you still beat them up? Naruto immediately became unhappy. Mist Shinobi technique has been laid down by Instructor Leia, and I have already told you that it is you who did not follow the rules, otherwise you would not be able to get lost. Look at Elder Long, it means that he did this on purpose. Naruto disowns immediately. He has never done such a thing. Elder Shillong himself didn't keep up, and in the end Naruto had the courage to go to the Black Holeya to rescue him. You must know that Black Pick Thunder Fang is no better at talking than other mentors. Naruto has to muster up his courage every time he goes to meet them. Too difficult. Elder Long Wong didn't believe what she said at all, and even grabbed Shamu to block him behind him, and wanted to attack them as soon as he saw it. Shiki held Elder Long nervously, fearing that the first thing he would do when he arrived at Hiren village would be to fight with him. Elder Long, we all came out smoothly behind Naruto, did you lose your mind when you came in? At the critical moment, Shibuki still chose to believe that there should be a misunderstanding. After all, he came here in person. Naruto was chattering about their ninja school along the way, and there was nothing unusual about it. Today's Shiki is equivalent to a Super Jonin powerhouse, so he can't use this power freely, but at least he can still perceive the changes in the surrounding environment. If there is an abnormality, it is impossible for him not to find clues. This. Elder Long choked up. Advertisement. As soon as he entered the forest, he seemed to be distracted, wondering if they would use this thing to murder him. Sasuke sneered, the foggy forest is full of dangers, and there are always people who haven't kept up with the villain's mentality and make many guesses. Elder Long's old face turned red. Impossible. It's just the most common Mist Shinobi technique. Even if you don't keep up with it, you'll be lost in the forest at most. Why would someone suddenly attack me? Having experienced the critical moment of life and death several times, he became very embarrassed, and made Elder Long even more angry. Otherwise, it is impossible for him to attack them as soon as he comes out. Lee Locke interjected, of course it's because Leia also integrated the lightning style technique when studying the Mist Shinobi technique, the purpose is to target those enemies who deliberately break in. So who told Elder Long to run around without a problem? This was improved by the Black Ho Thunder Fang after Naruto and the others set off. Seemingly annoyed by Hidan Kakuzu's repeated intrusions, Thunder Fang is now concentrating on researching the Mist Shinobi technique. Corazon estimates that he will soon be able to develop a new ninjutsu. After listening to Orochimaru's report, Corazon moved his ears and looked at the misty forest in the distance, with long-distance eyes. It seems to be quite lively. Then go and have a look. Quote. The wings spread behind him. Itachi didn't dare to be careless, so he could only, Wongdas gritted his teeth and followed at the fastest speed. Itachi's speed is already one of the best in the entire Kaijin village, even catching up with Kizaru who is known for his speed. But Corazon's speed even Kizaru has to grit his teeth to catch up, and Itachi dare not be distracted. A gust of wind suddenly blew up in the air, and the Black Holeya seemed to have noticed something, and immediately came to the ground on one knee. My lord, Naruto and his team also performed the ceremony honestly at the first time. Chapter 160 Dealing with Advertisement. Your Majesty. Different from the respectful tone of the Black Hoe Thunderfang, the worship in the tone of Naruto and Sasuke is more pure. It's like seeing Corazon as an idol, and I don't have the caution of Black Hole Ya, seeing Corazon is so happy. My lord, we have successfully completed the task. With a smile in his eyes, Corazon glanced at Shibuki and Elder Takashi who looked a little reserved, and Seven-Tails Jinchuriki who looked scared. The image in Shibuki's memory is different from Corazon's, but he has listened to Orochimaru's report and knows that Shibuki has fused the water of heroes in advance, so Corazon is not surprised at all. Are these guests from afar? Ever since Corazon fell in front of everyone's eyes, Shiki has discovered that there is a faint pressure on him, unlike 793 who did it deliberately, just because he is too powerful, so that others are in awe. So strong. Shibuki once doubted whether the Zunshang in Naruto's mouth was real. The strongest people he had ever seen were only the previous generation of strong people in Takian village, and they hadn't even reached the level of Kage. But now Shiki thinks that he has mastered the water of heroes, and he will definitely not lose to others in a simple competition of strength. But the strong man in front of him actually made him completely unable to resist, especially after Corazon looked over with a half smile. Shibuki's palms were sweating coldly. Honorable, Your Excellency Corazon, Shimoki in Shidaki Hidden Village. Shibuki introduced himself dryly, and heaved a sigh of relief when he found that Corazon's eyes were still gentle. In Naruto's mouth, his most respected master is a person who is easy to get along with. Corazon nodded. I heard from afar that there seems to be a dispute between you, what happened? Naruto wanted to speak, but Corazon said, Sasuke, tell me. With the level of Naruto's talkativeness, he estimated that he would chatter for half an hour. Advertisement. Sasuke was a little nervous when he thought that he would suddenly hit him. But soon, Sasuke adjusted and immediately said, Elder Takashi lost his way in the foggy forest and triggered the attack circle made by the Black Hole teacher, but he seems to have some suspicions that we did it. BGBA Elder Long couldn't help being shocked after Corazon came out. This legendary Your Excellency is actually a top powerhouse. Before that, he always felt that Naruto's words could only be believed one point at most. But when the facts were before his eyes, Elder Long had to believe it if he didn't believe it. Only now did he have the time to look at Heron Village behind them, and when he saw it, Elder Long was even more moved. There really is such a luxurious village. And the people on the street coming and going can tell that the strength is not weak, and there are many Jonin among them. It wasn't until Sasuke suddenly mentioned him that Elder Long recovered from the shock. He also knew that he probably misunderstood them before, but it was not a fake that he was attacked in the foggy forest. Black Pick Leia said, I made the last adjustment to the foggy forest 3 days ago, and he triggered the magic circle I made. But, Elder Long was momentarily at a loss for words. People have said that the foggy forest behind you is already full of dangers, so I emphasized early in the morning that we must keep up. He was indeed the one who got distracted and didn't keep up. Naruto finally seized the opportunity and said, Look, I'll just say it's your own problem. It's none of his business. They successfully completed the S-rank mission this time. Chapter 161. 2 Traces. Advertisement. All the students in a class have been divided into different groups of celebrities, and their 3-person team completed the 5th level task for the first time. Of course, no mistakes are allowed. That's why they were so rude to Elder Long, who kept finding fault. This is an S-rank mission. After successfully completing the S-level mission, the reward you can get is 1.5 million taels. Naruto has never seen so much money at such a young age, and the previous savings were all cheated by the Master Jiraiya, so this is the pocket money he managed to get. How could such an important thing be destroyed by Elder Long alone? Besides, the difficulty of completing S-level missions makes it a glory that they can praise. Even Sasuke couldn't help saying a few words to Elder Long, and wanted him to shut up. Shamu pulled Elder Long and signaled him to shut up, while he took a step forward and bent slightly. It seems that Elder Long misunderstood everyone. I apologize to everyone on his behalf. It is impossible for Elder Long, who is usually proud and arrogant in Longyan village, to apologize by himself, so Shiki can only say a few words for him. As the leader, he didn't think it was a problem. Corazon glanced at him unexpectedly. The leader of Takian village seems to be a boy, seems to be not bad. At least in this part, what they do is much better than their elders who have lived for countless years. Since it was a misunderstanding, there is no need to bring it up. Corazon nodded slightly, not intending to pursue it. Itachi, let Kakashi receive guests from Takigakure. Itachi didn't make a sound, but disappeared in front of everyone in an instant. Shiki was secretly startled. Advertisement. Is even a guard who looks so ordinary beside him so strong? Even he can't do it so fast. A strange color flashed in Heileia's eyes. My lord, when I entered the misty forest just now, I found that someone seemed to have disturbed my arrangement. Naruto found him temporarily, saying that someone lost his way in the foggy forest, and the Black Hole personally took Elder Long out, and at the same time, he did not miss the traces of the battle around Elder Long. No matter how he arranges alone, he can't achieve 2 completely different attack marks. Ask for flowers. With the eyesight of the Black Hoe and Leia, he instantly found someone hiding in the dark and shooting cold arrows. It's just that his first task at that time was to rescue Elder Long, and he realized that there was no living thing around him, and he thought that the thing had already left, so he backed out. 0. Corazon paused for a moment, then smiled like a fox. Could it be that you couldn't hold back anymore? The Black Holeya saw that Corazon didn't intend to hide anything, so he didn't hide what he said at all. Elder Long's eyes widened. So someone is still doing it secretly. He clenched his fists angrily. The old man remembered it too. There were indeed 2 attacks in the forest just now, and they don't look like the same person at all. So that means someone took his life while he was lost. Elder Long glared at Naruto. Along the way, he felt that this kid had no good intentions. Naruto spread his hands helplessly. If it was really me, would I go find someone to save you? Chapter 162, Cunning Capital-Tailed Beast. Advertisement. Is Elder Long already at the age of foolishness? Why do you always like to doubt him? Naruto is very helpless. Why is it so difficult for him to complete this S-level task quickly? But since someone has doubts, he must also clear himself of the suspicion. If it was me, I could let you die inside and go to the mentor to save you. Anyway, no one would know if I was delayed on the way, right? August 17th, and I have no enmity with you, but you. He originally wanted to say that they represent 1.5 million tails, but subconsciously felt that it was not very good, so he temporarily changed his words. 1. But my good friend. Elder Long, who wants to be your good friend? But what Naruto said makes sense. He really doesn't need to do so many things. Elder Long is not confident enough to think that they will all murder him. To put it bluntly, there is no need. Shiki frowned. If it wasn't for the Misty Forest's mechanism, then we will thoroughly investigate this matter. Corazon gave him a promise, but Shibuki always felt that there seemed to be something hidden in Corazon's smile. This kind of hidden thing is not malicious, but inexplicably makes people feel that he seems to be planning something. Forget it. The things they worry about are probably not something they can understand. Instead of thinking about these, it is better to solve the immediate problem first. Shibuki patted Fu on the shoulder lightly and introduced, "This is Fu, the ninja of Takian village who came with us." Advertisement. Seven Tails Jinchuriki Fu. Corazon also smiled, "Welcome." Fu looked much more timid than when she came out of the village. She seemed to be frightened by so many people in front of her. Xiao Sakura, who is also a girl and has a good personality, was very fond of her. He patted her hand when she heard this. "Your Majesty, can Fu and the others join us in the ninja school?" This is also a matter of Shiki's concern. He had heard Naruto talk about their ninja school, and was interested in going to see it for himself. It just so happened that Kakashi arrived just in time after receiving Itachi's notice. He rubbed the back of his head and said with a smile, "Senior Tsunade just happened to be in class. If you are interested, you can go and see it." After finishing speaking, he slightly bent over to Corazon. "My lord, I heard that you were looking for me." Seeing that Kakashi had arrived, Corazon gave him the responsibility of all 3 people in front of him. "You came just in time, and I will leave this place to you." He came here just to see Seven Tails Jinchuriki. Sure enough, he is as cunning and good at hiding as the rumors say. Even if he is only sealed now, it is still affecting the behavior of the host. Although Orochimaru rarely spoke on the road, it didn't mean he didn't observe his surroundings. Fu, who is getting more and more silent, looks timid because she came out for the first time, but she is actually influenced by Seven Tails Chome. Seven Tails is the most cunning existence among tailed beasts. Orochimaru has been observing all the way but has not found any changes in him. If it wasn't for Corazon's reminder, Da 0.5 Shimaru would even think that he has indeed completely sealed Seven Tails. That's right, Seven Tails Chome is still active. Rangfu woke up just because he was afraid of Orochimaru, so he chose to keep his own place. However, each one-tailed beast is extremely fierce and cunning. If they seize the opportunity, it will replace the host to do evil without hesitation. Chapter 163 New Mission Released. Advertisement. Seven Tails Chome. Corazon chuckled. It seems that Hiran village will be very lively in the future. Itachi followed Corazon very faithfully and returned to the Tower of Revolving Heaven. Young ninjas stopped to salute them in all the shops and houses they passed by. People respected the strong, but they also thanked Corazon from the bottom of their hearts for giving them this opportunity. The 5 kingdoms are constantly at war. In fact, there has long been a need for such an absolutely peaceful existence. Only here can they learn ninjutsu and improve their abilities with peace of mind. And the 3 countries already under the control of Kila 16 Song did not dare to provoke a fight. Ninjas from the 3 countries do not make trouble in Ninja Village seem to get along well. Certainly, in the Ninja Village, there are also people who don't like each other. Corazon's way of ruling his subordinates has never been blind suppression. He appreciates all unyielding souls, so he is willing to give them such a platform to challenge their opponents. Private fights are prohibited in Sea Ninja Village, but if the 2 sides have a bright challenge, they are allowed to exist, and once they are killed or injured, they will be at their own risk. Every ninja is not afraid of bloodshed. Only in this way can they become stronger. There's even a ninja school instructor on hand to keep order whenever a challenge is in progress. Dueling is a gentleman's behavior, and all villains who fight secretly must be put an end to it. The new country that Corazon strives to create seems to have not yet taken shape, but it has actually begun to take shape. The system releases a new task. Please host to create a new country within 1 year, then you can create a new world channel and get a chance to summon $$ level forces once. Sure enough, after Corazon figured this out, the long-lost system finally sounded again. One Piece World is the first step of his long journey. Advertisement. Then there is a wider world waiting for him. The smile on the corners of Corazon's lips became more and more obvious, and more ninjas found that their lord seems to be in a pretty good mood today. Itachi buried himself in Corazon's side, clearly feeling Corazon's joy, and couldn't help thinking. Seven Tails Chome seemed to make his majesty very happy. Shouldn't he start looking for the remaining tailed beasts? Corazon didn't want to explain. The mission of the system was completely within his expectation. In fact, he was already preparing for this mission. SS rank powerhouse. The last time he summoned an SS level force, he used it to summon the Fire Dragon King. I don't know who it will be this time. Corazon walked back happily while guessing aimlessly. Asterisk 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 asterisk. The other end, Kakashi, as the only slightly normal existence in the entire Kirin village, shouldered the task of receiving Shibuki 3 very honorably. Just imagine, if Kizaru and the others are in charge, Shibuki and the 3 of them may not be able to go to the place where they live today. Not to mention the unreliable Jiraiya, Tsunade will take them directly to the Casino 253 to be the landlord, and then lose the rewards he earned for doing the mission so hard. As for Itachi it is estimated that there is no way to answer any of Shiki's questions, and Shiki may not dare to ask. Only Kakashi, as a slightly more reliable existence, and not with a paralyzed face, took on this task gloriously. Are you Tokigakure ninjas? Kakashi asked curiously as he led the 3 of them to the place where the guests prepared by Tesoro lived. He knew Longyan village, didn't he say it was a village that never participated in any battles? Why did he suddenly appear in Heron village? If I remember correctly, they didn't send many people to participate in the previous Chunin exams. Chapter 164. This is actually a tailed beast. Advertisement. Kakashi, as a tutor who has participated in many Chunin exams, generally sees people from Sunagakure and Yinin village, and there are only a handful of ninjas from Takiyan village. So he couldn't help being a little curious about the people from Longyan village. An elderly-looking ninja, a young man with complex patterns on his face, it is almost impossible to tell what he looks like. Plus a girl with green hair who doesn't like to talk and doesn't show her strength. It seems extremely mysterious. Takiyan village has been silent for so many years, so it should not relax the training of ninjas, right? Since Kakashi had to arrange lessons for Jiraiya and Tsunade recently, he naturally missed Corazon's order, so much so that he still thought that it was really just a guest from Tokigakure. Guest. See more Kakashi. It is nothing more than a few other ninja villages who came to their Sea Ninja village to learn, and by the way, they regard Corazon as a model of respect, and are willing to join the camp of Sea Ninja village. I didn't see that after learning about Orochimaru's decision, Yinin village sent young ninjas from their village to study under the pretense of learning, but they actually surrendered. Although Longyan village is a bit mysterious compared to other villages, maybe these 3 people are masters. I have to say, this is really a big misunderstanding. Naruto's trio don't have much time to stay with Kakashi, they still have to turn in quests. Especially Naruto. He has been away for half a month, and he has to clean up Jiraiya's mess for half a month. As if he has decided on this apprentice, Jiraiya spends in the village very confidently, and never cares about the price. Naruto felt like his heart was bleeding when he paid the bill. Advertisement. Boom. Underscore. The cannonball with the huge chakra is almost head-on. Kakashi jumped away very naturally, and by the way, used chakra to bring the machine-free cannonball spit out by Chairman Isofu into the deep sea. This is Nohara Rin's recent contact place, and it is also the human waters outside Heron village. The waterfall here leads directly to the sea outside the wave, but if you want to enter Heron village by water, Black Pick Thunderfang will tell you that water conducts electricity and make you regret doing so. Kakashi. The rampant 3 tails turned into a young girl in an instant, and the brown-haired girl jumped over. Quote. This is Lin Nohara, Kakashi introduced with a smile. The identity of Nohara Lin 3 Tails Jifu Jinchuriki's identity is not a secret, many people in their village know it, not to mention Nohara Lin's big practice here. The 3 people in Longyan village have different expressions. Shibuki's eyes were deeply shocked, he couldn't describe how he felt when he saw 3 tails, but it was definitely very unforgettable. Tailed Beast's gigantic body contains the power to destroy the world, if not for Kakashi, how could he escape the attack of 3 tails? Shibuki suddenly felt that he was too weak. Elder Long was even more shocked than him. This is a tailed beast, right? Look at the shape, this is 3 tails. Why can it still turn into the appearance of a human girl so naturally? Could it be that 3 tails has been completely tamed? Only Fu was the calmest. After seeing 3 tails clearly, the doctor's eyes flickered for a moment. Chapter 165. Be careful. Advertisement. It's just that the light in the eyes is fleeting, so fast that people can't catch it. She is. Elder Long almost bit his own tongue when he spoke too quickly. Kakashi nodded very naturally. That's right, Lin has 3 tails in her body, and she is learning to control it now. Nohara Lin followed him with a smile and greeted the 3 of Longyan village, but her eyes changed instantly when she touched Fu. Before Kakashi could react, he was pulled back a few steps by the girl beside him. Chome. Nohara Lin narrowed her eyes and looked at Fu, saying with great certainty. Kakashi is stupid. Chome. 7 tails Chome. He looked at the green-haired girl from Takiyan village again, she was very quiet from the beginning to the end, making it hard to believe that she is also human. And a Chome known for her cunning. Nohara Lin has mastered the abilities of 3 tails, she sensed the familiar chakra from Fu, don't hide the changes in Fu from Nohara Lin. Kakashi gasps. Why did Seven Tails Chome appear in their village? Could it be for some other purpose? Seeing their big commotion, Shiki hurriedly explained, I believe His Excellency Corazon already knows Fu's identity. Otherwise Orochimaru wouldn't have brought them back. Kakashi thought about it carefully, and felt that their lord was not such a BGDA, careless person, and seeing that Fu's identity was revealed, but she didn't have the posture of going berserk, so she let go of her guard. In that case, please come with me. Elder Long finally couldn't hold back, why is Three Tails? Kakashi knew what he wanted to ask when he opened his mouth, and he explained kindly, Third Generation and His Majesty designed a special training method for Lin to help her control the tailed beast in her body, and take the tailed beast's chakra as her own use. Advertisement. It's also no secret that if Seven Tails Chome is going to stay, then she'll be going through the same training as Rin Nohara. Until Fu fully domesticates Seven Tails Chome. Great. Shiki had a smile on his face. If this is the case, the problem that troubled Fu can be solved. Fu also pulled the corner of her mouth. For some reason, Nohara Lin always felt that she was a bit weird, so after Kakashi settled them down, Lin grabbed Kakashi. Careful. Kakashi is confused, who should be careful? Nohara Lin looked at the direction where Fu disappeared and narrowed her eyes, it was pretty obvious who she was referring to. Kakashi nodded, the matter of Seven Tails Chome should indeed be told to His Majesty. If Corazon doesn't know, but who knows that Corazon knew what Kakashi was going to say after seeing Kakashi. Have a good show tonight, Corazon said. Kakashi was a little confused. What's going on today? Why can't he understand everyone's words? Night gradually enveloped the earth. The ninja school has returned to calm, all the students will choose to gather together in twos and threes after class, some discuss the content of the day, and some simply go to the street. The prosperity of Sea Ninja Village has surpassed that of any ninja village in the Five Kingdoms. Here, there are no weak and no murderers. There are only students who are sincere and working hard for the village. Every night, the busiest place in Heron Village is the shop street, and lanterns are hung outside each shop, lining this small world with bright lights. Chapter 166. The good show begins. Advertisement. Kakashi, what's wrong with you? Kizaru looked up and drank a glass of wine, only to find that Kakashi opposite him seemed a little absent-minded. Drinking is not serious, which little girl is this fascinated by? Aokiji hooked his shoulder and said with a serious smile. Kakashi ignored them with his chin resting on his shoulders, and his frowning showed that he was worried. Zun Shang and Lin, one said that there was a good show tonight, while the other told him to be careful. Both of them seemed to be hiding something. In the dark. Corazon is tall and slender, the hem of his slightly baggy clothes was blown up by the wind, and his dark Yoruichi-like eyes almost melted into the blackness. Lin stood behind Corazon, Jiraiya and Itachi who were also not entertained. As for the rest of the people, they seemed to be completely unaware of the undercurrent in the darkness, wantonly enjoying the darkness that belonged to them. Lin, are you sure he will come tonight? Jiraiya tore his clothes, he was captured directly by Itachi, and all the clothes on his body were put on casually. Chome can't wait long. Nohara Lin bowed her head and followed Corazon, her tone, determined. Although Nohara Rin does not have the ability of Corazon, but also is a Jinchuriki, she can detect something wrong with Chome. This is the signal from the three tails in her body. Jiraiya, be quiet. After Corazon said simply, Jiraiya fell silent for an instant, as if he must be honest. For no other reason, there are only 3 scared people in the entire sea village of Jiraiya. Corazon, Orochimaru, and Tsunade. Orochimaru and Tsunade are also directly under Corazon. The double fear made Jiraiya dare not act presumptuously in front of Corazon every time. The night was getting dark. The moon and stars were sparse, making the whole night even more silent. Except for the shopping street, the entire Heron village was quiet. Advertisement. A figure suddenly appeared on the wall, and the owner of the shadow was not human in any way. Nobody wears wings. It makes him look even more creepy. The shadow jumps quickly in the whole Heron village, as if it has already identified the direction without any hesitation. Azefu, the dark voice sounded in the darkness, with a hint of coolness, which made people's necks subconsciously shiver. Asking for flowers. 0. Iso Fuiki. The hoarse voice gradually became hurried in the air. Nohara Lin clutched her chest. She hasn't completely controlled Three Tails, and under this kind of call, Three Tails is also a little restless. Almost at the same time, Jiraiya and Itachi were staring in the same direction at the same time. Coming. Corazon disappeared in a flash. To watch a good show, of course you have to choose the most suitable position. Isofu. As if sensing Three Tails Isofu's aura, Seven Tails Chome's voice became sharper. Seven Tails Chome. 7 tails consist of a beetle tail and 6 wings. 3 pairs of wings spread out in the air, occupying a large area of the sky. The flying 7 tails is the absolute king in terms of speed, and the whole sky is like its stage. The darkness didn't stop 7 tails from being fast, it even made him more at home. Finally found Rin Nohara in the darkness, Chome Dao came roaring. 3 tails. As the Jofun chakra of 10 tails, the induction between tail beasts cannot be cut off at all. Chapter 167. Wandering Ninja. Advertisement. Kakashi suddenly raised his head and looked around. Where is Senior Jiraiya? As a regular customer of this bar, Jiraiya is almost here when there is no class. Didn't you see that Naruto is already waiting to pay the bill with a sad face? This skillful act of pulling out money made people feel sad, and Naruto ordered a glass of juice for himself very firmly. The owner of this bar is a ninja from the land of water. 017 did not join any ninja village before. As wandering ninjas, their greatest luck is that they joined the Sea Ninja village through the recommendation of the king of the land of water. All the wandering ninjas are no longer teenagers, and they have also explored the road of ninjutsu for nearly a year. They do not belong to any ninja village, so they have never received any systematic training, so all their abilities come from the comprehension at the critical moment of life and death in the battle with the enemy. If you can successfully comprehend it, you will become more and more beautiful like a butterfly breaking out of a cocoon, but if you fail, what you pay is the price of your life. Wandering ninjas have been exploring the mysteries of numbers all their lives, but most of them won't achieve much because they don't have the guidance of their seniors. And Sea Ninja Village gave them this opportunity. Although they can't join Class 1 due to their talents, and they are still in the last few classes, they are taught by the same tutor as Class 1. Except for the people from Orochimaru who dare to ask him to take care of so much, the 7 ninja swordsmen are all in class honestly. Certainly. In each class, because the talents and receptivity of the students are different, so the things they teach are different. These wandering ninjas are the most important part of the following classes, and they are also an important part of this shopping street. Advertisement. There is no other reason. Although the ninjas from Ninja Village are super capable of performing tasks, they don't know how to make money. This money-making idea must be understood by wandering ninjas who have wandered around. The largest and most prosperous tavern in Hainan Village is opened by a wandering ninja, Chushi. Likewise, Jiraiya is also a regular customer of the store. He's here almost everywhere except when he's stuck with Tsunade. But now Jiraiya is gone. Mr. Kakashi, is there not enough wine? I'll let someone add it. When Chushi was grabbed by Kakashi, he happened to be bartending. He learned a new way of bartending from Kizaru and others. However, Kizaru and the others had only drank it before. The specific operation process had to be studied by Chushi himself. Did Jiraiya come today? Kakashi asked. Chushi raised his face and recalled, it seems that there is no such thing as that. This is amazing. Kakashi rushed out of the door in an instant. Now it's right. Nohara Lin's inexplicable reminder, Jiraiya's disappearance, and his doubts that have been lingering in his heart tonight. The night was still dark, and Kakashi applied the instantaneous body technique to ultimate. 4.8 Hainan Village, in an open space some distance away from the foggy forest, Nohara Rin was still practicing in the daytime place, watching Seven Tails Chome appearing in front of her, unusually calm. Isofu. The wings behind Seven Tails Chome vibrated wildly. Fu at this moment. No, it should be said that Seven Tails Chome has completely lost her cowardly appearance during the day, and the butterfly feathers suddenly protruding from her back make her a ladyboy. Chapter 168 The battle begins. Advertisement. Nohara Lin suddenly turned around, the water in the lake behind her turned into spikes and rushed towards Seven Tails Chome. But not enough. Seven Tails Chome is the fastest tail beast, there is no way it can't dodge all attacks. Isofu, what do you mean? Chome squinted, staring at the fully humanoid Lin. Are you really domesticated by that group of humans? They came from the body of 10 tails, and they know each other's personalities best. Seven Tails can hardly believe that the brutal Rocky Fu didn't show up. Finally it came out. Hey, I'm so tired that I specially arranged so many. Jiraiya complained, shaking 16 shoulders that were sore from being arrested for arranging formations in the past few days. Seven Tails Chome discovered that Three Tails did not appear alone. Seven Tails was indeed amazed when he found Three Tails during the day. He didn't expect that Three Tails had broken the seal, and according to his feeling, Three Tails was definitely not the only one in this village. And other tailed beasts. Even the kid who brought her back was eccentric, but Seven Tails hadn't figured out what he was yet. Seven Tails sighed deeply. Three Tails, you actually united with humans to deal with me. Seven Tails, who was attached to Fu during the day, noticed that Three Tails Jifu had broken the seal, but his state was unstable, so he came out to look for her on the first night. But Three Tails didn't show up. That's a lot of nonsense. Behind Jiraiya, Naruto jumped out with a smile. Nine Tails Kurama's aura was sealed intact without leaking out, even Chome didn't sense it. Advertisement. HMPH, Your Majesty said it's best to keep him alive. In the darkness, Gaara's gloomy voice gradually sounded. One Tail Shuhei joined the battle. Chome stared at them. Besides the boy he couldn't see through, One Tail Shuhei was also here. One Tail, Three Tails. Chome stared at them in disbelief. You forget how humans treat us. Chome, human beings have never thought of targeting you. You tailed beasts are the ones who caused harm to the world to be sealed. Naruto was the first to disagree with him, and Seven Tails Chome was annoyed by his expression that you don't want to splash dirty water enough. He knew that what was in front of him was no longer the innocent-looking girl Fu, but the Seven Tails Chome through and through. I didn't expect you to act like this all the way, I didn't notice at all. Naruto gritted his teeth angrily. Gaara sneered, as if mocking him, causing Naruto to turn around and give him a hard look. So far, 4 of the 9-tailed beasts have gathered here. Watch as One Tail and Three Tails Seven Tails Chome who aim at their opposites without hesitation suddenly soar into the sky. If that's the case, then you will die together with your sad fighting spirit. The wings behind Seven Tails Chome vibrated crazily. 650 was obviously a girl, but her mouth grew so large that it was not human, and a large amount of phosphorus powder was sprayed out. The phosphor powder with white light even illuminates the night sky. The Black Holeya stood behind Corazon, and whispered, "It's her." Corazon understood and said without any surprise, Seven Tails also entered the foggy forest. He hates the ninja of Takian village who sealed him up so much, it's normal for Elder Long to attack him. And he's smart enough too. If Elder Long dies like this, if the Black Holeya is careless, he will never notice who did it. Chapter 169 Battle of Tailed Beasts. Advertisement. The originally silent wilderness was suddenly broken, and the chakra of the four-tailed beasts crashed into one place. Seven Tails Chome backed away in the air for a moment, her eyes fixed on Naruto. 9 Tails. This kid is actually 9 Tails. And he didn't see it all the way. Naruto rubbed his arms. Can you stop talking to me in Fu's voice? He got goosebumps all over his body when he heard it. A cute girl like Fu is possessed by 7 Tails, a worm-like tail beast. How weird it looks at this moment. Tailed beasts have no gender. Although the overall bias is male, Fu is a girl after all, so now her voice sounds a bit indistinguishable and dangerous. 9 Tails Kurama is here, Chome has to double down. She was sure that 3 Tails' state was unstable, and 1 Tails Shuhei didn't seem to be fully awakened. If it was only them, 7 Tails didn't think they would lose. But add 9 Tails, and that unfathomable old man next to him. The pupils of Chome beasts are shining. 7 Tails' tail beast coat wraps Fu's whole body, she is completely similar to insects, and her hands and feet are firmly glued to the tree. The white skin and flesh that belonged to humans began to turn into a bloody crimson, and the tail beast bomb spit out from 7 Tails' mouth. Naruto frowned. This guy is really tough. 7 Tails' phosphor powder hidden technique has largely hindered their sight, and it was not easy to catch its traces. Now that 7 Tails is hiding in the dark, they have become fish on a chopping board. Gaara stared warily around. Lin has also turned into a half-tailed beast, and the water curtain gathers behind her, protecting her entire back. As the instructor who trained the 3 of them, Jiraiya is standing aside with folded arms and accepting the results. Advertisement. Corazon had guessed that 7 Tails Chome would never be as easy to deal with as they appeared on the surface, so he notified Jiraiya in advance to train the 3 of them. Except for Naruto who was delayed going to Takihead village for a while, Gaara and never fell too far. Lin was defending at the moment, Gaara chose to attack without hesitation. The sand monster arm that he has studied for many days finally has a place to use. A hand of sand is formed from the sand, as an enhanced version of Gaara's sand hand, which also has earth-shattering power. The pupils of Chome's beast shrank instantly, and the wings behind him fluttered away from the spot. Quote. Boom. Sound. The giant tree that Chome had just stopped fell to the ground. How did he determine his position? Gaara didn't give him time to react at all, sand shuriken shot quickly. Naruto is also not to be outdone. Although he can't mobilize Kurama's chakra yet, he has learned how to act with the powerful power in his body. Gaara. Naruto roared. There is no need for Naruto to say too much, this pair of people who are usually a bit tit for tat in the class broke out Lee Nuo's great tacit understanding at this moment. Gaara reached out and covered her right eye. The sanded third eye is embedded in the uppermost sky for reconnaissance visual images and then transmitted to the right eye through chakra. Southeast bar. Here we come. Naruto touched his palm, and the speed of seal formation became faster and faster. Try my Naruto combo. With Naruto's continuous bombardment, Kurama could not control the flow of chakra, and cooperated with Naruto's own power to instantly transform into countless shadow clone. Chapter 170 Exam. Advertisement. The shock came suddenly, Kakashi suddenly stopped and looked not far away. Lin. The energy of this chakra is definitely not weak, if Nohara Lin is alone against the fully tailed 7 Tails Chome. Kakashi can't imagine. A Jinchuriki possessed by a tailed beast will die instantly if the tailed beast is forcibly pulled out, and 7 Tails Chome can do it. Although Rin Nohara is now learning to control 3 Tails Isao, and even wiped out the will of 3 Tails Isao under the guidance of Corazon, the chairman Isao still exists. Kakashi dare not delay at all. He thought that when he arrived, he would see 7 Tails Chome completely suppressing Nohara Lin, but when he really arrived, Kaka 977 was stunned for a while. Who will tell him what's going on? Nohara Lin finally opened up the huge water curtain, and it looks like she is escorting the teammates in front, while Gaara has turned into a half-tailed beast, and her arm has turned into a one tail guarding a crane, rampaging and flying countless times. I don't know how many years it has grown. Trees. As for Naruto, he simply kept changing positions, and followed Gaara's guidance to attack enemies that he couldn't see clearly. Southwest. Gaara's third eye is made of sand, even if 7 Tails Chome breaks it, it can't be completely eliminated, because the sand scattered on the ground will regroup in an instant to monitor his position again. With Gaara helping, his phosphorus hidden technique doesn't do anything at all. Naruto snorted, really think this white powder is as annoying as the mist shinobi technique of Black Hole Ya's mentor. Naive. They have been thrown into the misty forest by the Black Ho Thunder Ya and experienced it, what they are most afraid of is the situation of being robbed of sight by the enemy. Advertisement. 7 Tails Chome wanted to sneak attack with Tailed Beast Bomb out of frustration, only to find that the last hand, Isamo, who had been hiding from the sky, dispelled his Tailed Beast Bomb in an instant. It used the huge water curtain behind her. Jiraiya was standing not far away, holding a notebook in his hand, not knowing what he was writing, and frowning from time to time, as if he was troubled. Kakashi Senior. Jilai BGBD was too immersed in the entanglement of scoring the 3, he didn't notice Kakashi coming from the rear, and was taken aback by him. It's you. Jiraiya is still in shock. Why do you have time to come and see their exams? Exam. Exam. Kakashi almost bit his tongue. What exam? Isn't it true that Seven Tails Chome was going to attack Rin Nohara, and Jiraiya brought Naruto Gaara to help? Jiraiya rolled his eyes at him. Sneak attack. Just him. He pointed at Seven Tails Chome, with a rather disdainful tone. He guessed before he even entered the village that this guy is not so easy to submit. So he arranged for me to take this opportunity to arrange a test for Naruto and the others. It's just one exam and it's so mysterious. Every time Itachi comes to him, it's like there's some mysterious mission. Kakashi. Okay. So the book Jiraiya held just now should be the scoring table for the assessment of the three of them. Kakashi took a look and found that Jiraiya's writing was quite boxy, giving corresponding responses in terms of combat response, speed, awareness, strength, and overall situation. Score. As a medical ninja, Rin Nohara doesn't shoot often, but her score is not low. Naruto and Gaara performed equally well. After Kakashi found out that he had misunderstood, he stopped worrying and simply stood aside and watched like Jiraiya. Chapter 171. Surrender, or Death. Advertisement. Jiraiya and Kakashi talked lightheartedly, but Seven Tails Chome who was in the air almost went crazy. He thought he touched it secretly, but he was exposed to their sight all the way. A smile flashed across Corazon's eyes, and he glanced at the white belly that lit up in the sky. Order it down, finish it as soon as possible. This impromptu test is only for Jinchuriki possessed by tailed beasts, so only Gaara and Naruto participated in the first class. As for Rin Nohara, she did not join the ninja school, but was directed by Jiraiya and Tsunade in turn, and Sarutobi Hiruzen personally supervised. Corazon has heard the news that Sarutobi Hiruzen is currently selecting the fourth Hokage, but it seems that several of his disciples are not very happy. Corazon knows who the fourth Hokage of Konoha village is. But now is not the time to talk. He just needs to hold these three people firmly and let them work for him honestly. Corazon was relatively satisfied with the whole process of the exam. All three of Naruto are good at fighting alone, but they haven't seriously studied the teamwork. Ninjas must learn to cooperate before living with absolute power. This is an order given to them by Corazon, and it also caused Naruto and Gaara a headache for a while. These two people don't get along as soon as they meet, but it's really hard to learn to cooperate. Fortunately, their opponent is Seven Tails Chome. Although Seven Tails Chome is more difficult to deal with, but his strongest is not his strength but his invisible phosphorus hidden technique. The Seven Tails Chome is the hardest tailed beast to catch, as it is so cunning and naturally the best hider. But Corazon didn't tell them that the object of the test would be Seven Tails Chome, in order to see their adaptability. Advertisement. Along the way, Naruto thought that the Seven Tails in Fu's body had settled down, but he didn't expect that he could hide it from Orochimaru's eyes. Although Orochimaru found out the next day, but he still chose to pretend not to know, and just mentioned it when Xuanyan came back. Because of this, Jiraiya was forced to serve as the examiner for this temporary exam. Ask for flowers. Originally there was Tsunade, but under Tsunade's violent suppression, Jiraiya came alone bitterly. Who told Tsunade to guarantee his appearance, so he insisted on going to bed early and getting up early. As a ninja of the same period as Jiraiya and the others, Tsunade is still a hot and beautiful woman, thanks to her impeccable maintenance. 0. Even if. Itachi nodded, and jumped down from the height they were standing on, Kusanagi sword in hand, heading towards Seven Tails Chome with absolute swiftness. Seven Tails Chome was gradually unable to hold on under the attack of the three of them, but just as he was about to run away, he was suddenly kicked to the ground. Grass Pheasant pointed straight at Chome's neck, and Itachi's cold voice sounded. Surrender, or die. At this moment, Chome felt the cold killing intent of the person in front of him. Tail beasts can't die. Seven Tails Chome smiled sullenly. Even if you kill my current host, you can't destroy me. Really? Itachi smiled, but there was no smile in his eyes. Chapter 172 The Seven Tails Who Finally Surrendered. Advertisement. Behind Weasel, a huge white snake propped up its body, with its fangs shining brightly. Orochimaru is coming. I leave it to you. Itachi exchanged glances with Orochimaru who was walking slowly. The grass pheasant sword instantly disappeared, and he retreated like a drawn blade. The white snake suddenly opened its mouth, intending to swallow Seven Tails Chome and the possessed dove into its body. Seven Tails will not die. 210, but as long as he cannot break free from the body of the white snake, he will be imprisoned forever. Can want to come out of the white snake, unless Orochimaru dies. No. No, Chome didn't expect Orochimaru to be so straightforward that he didn't even intend to ask. Naruto whispered, will the white snake eat so much food all day long, won't it spoil his stomach? Kakashi thought this shouldn't be the point, but he still couldn't help explaining, this white snake sage is Orochimaru's summoning beast, anyone or anything eaten by it will eventually be checked by Wawe to exist in his body, if Seven Tails recovers if his name is swallowed by him, that white snake will become the best cage for Seven Tails. And seeing Orochimaru's crazy pursuit of the longevity technique, the white snake's existence may be longer than they expected, which means that Seven Tails Chome may never come out. Naruto suddenly realized, sure enough, they still need an instructor to explain, so that they can understand the twists and turns more quickly. About Orochimaru, the students of Heron Village don't know much about it, and usually they don't even see Orochimaru's attack, but they just have such a feeling. Advertisement. Orochimaru is a special existence in Chiron Village. Didn't you see so many mentors subconsciously tense in front of Orochimaru? Chomei's pupils began to shrink infinitely, and the white snake getting closer and closer to him seemed to herald his future. I surrender. I surrender to you. Seven Tails Chomei quickly made a choice. Life and death were never such a difficult decision to make. Being swallowed by a white snake is basically the same as death. For Chomei, he absolutely cannot bear to be consciously imprisoned forever. The speed of the white snake came to an abrupt stop, and soon it patted its tail as if displeased, but finally did not dare to speak without authorization, and could only retreat behind Orochimaru. Gaara watched the white snake's tail sweep behind him a little stiffly, and then hung himself on the tree like drying clothes, always felt that this posture seemed too funny. Orochimaru looked at the high platform in the distance. Corazon had long since disappeared there without leaving a trace, but his eyes were still full of admiration, not to submit to me, but to submit to the Lord. Anything is fine as long as it keeps him alive. Chomei gritted his teeth. I'd like to listen to you. Then you still occupy someone else's body. Nohara Lin frowned. She was forcibly made into a possession vessel of three tails, so she knew very well that this kind of body was completely out of her own control. 1.1 Feeling of powerlessness, and she was very sensitive to forcible Seven Tails Chomei, who manipulates this girl's body, is totally offended. The unwillingness in Seven Tails' eyes finally turned into a pool of loneliness. He knew that he really lost this time. It is better for the power to be used by humans than to be imprisoned. If Seven Tails doesn't want to, he has no other choice. The faint redness began to recede from Fu's skin, and the blood redness faded away like a tide, and her girlish porcelain white was restored. Chapter 173, Ninja's Oath. Advertisement. Seven Tails Chomei's complete submission brought Fu back to normal in no time, and she was even very sober. Fu's eyes were slightly red, and she seemed to want to say something, but she didn't know how to say it, so she stood up and bowed deeply in the end. I'm really sorry. Fu always knew that Seven Tails Chomei was controlling her, but no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't regain the dominance of her body, and of course she couldn't give them any hints. Fortunately, they already guessed that Seven Tails was dishonest, otherwise Seven Tails might have succeeded in making Three Tails restless this time. 16. But now, Three Tails is obediently staying in Nohara Lin's body. Fu was eventually brought before Corazon by Orochimaru. Facing this strong man she had only seen once, Fu knelt down without saying a word. My lord, I am willing to offer all my loyalty. This is the oath of the ninja. Although there is no binding force, for ninjas, they must do what they say. If she doesn't do it, the self-blame in her heart will snap at her like a sharp knife at any time. Corazon. Very good. Now that this is the case, I will train with Nohara Lin in the future. Fu is also not suitable for joining the ninja school. Although Seven Tails Chomei is honest, Fu has no control over him, and it is easy for accidents to happen where they can't see. So the best way, naturally, is to hand it over to Jiraiya. Jiraiya stood at the end with a bitter face but didn't dare to refute, so she could only sigh inwardly. Of course, Nohara Lin welcomes this new partner very much. Also belongs to the tail beast Jinchuriki, she has some natural affection for this green-haired girl. Advertisement. Fu is naturally lively, and she is accompanied by the tough and gentle Nohara Lin, the two complement each other perfectly. Thinking of having another companion in class in the future, Nohara Lin couldn't help but bend her eyebrows. Fu also thanked Naruto at the end. Thank you for saving Longyan Village. Actually, I wanted to say it myself a long time ago, but before. Anyway, I am really grateful. Before, Fu was controlled by Seven Tails Chomei. It was not obvious at first, but she was completely out of her control in the end. She could only watch Seven Tails Chomei pretending to be introverted and followed little Sakura. Fu also explained the truth to Elder Long. Elder Long never expected that so many things would happen in just one night of sleep. You mean that you have been controlled by Seven Tails Chomei all this way, and it was Seven Tails Chomei who attacked me in the foggy forest. Elder Long almost spit out his breakfast. Fortunately, he had sworn to suspect Heron Village before, but now it's over, it turned out that they did it themselves. Although it wasn't Fu's wish, but no matter what, he's free Naruto. Elder Long's expression was not very good. Then you, 647, you have decided to stay here. To be honest, for Fu, the entire Longyan village has complicated feelings. This is the girl they watched growing up, yes, and also took the risk of Seven Tails Chomei for Takian village. But she is too dangerous, so people in Longyan village have never dared to approach her. Now Fu said with a smile that she thinks this place is very good, so she plans to stay and learn art. Of course, Elder Long is in a complicated mood. As for Shibuki, I am more happy for Fu. Congratulations, Fu. Shiki patted her on the shoulder. Takian village should not be your burden, you should do what you want. Chapter 174 Fans Meet Idols. Advertisement. They saw with their own eyes yesterday the state of Three Tails in the Sea Ninja Village, proving that the Sea Ninja Village really has a way to restrict the tailed beasts, and taught the possessed people how to control the powerful chakra of the tailed beasts without being eroded. This is the best result for both Fu and Hainin Village. Seven Tails Chomei definitely hates Takigakure. This can be seen from the fact that he would rather take the risk of being exposed than attack Elder Long in the foggy forest. Fu can successfully control Seven Tails Chomei, which means that there is one less huge invisible enemy in Takian Village. Because of Fu's matter, she has a good impression of Corazon, who only met once yesterday. Sashibuki was not timid at all when he received the invitation from Corazon, he was just curious about what he would say. Shibuki didn't forget why Corazon wanted the hero's water, he wanted to know what they wanted the hero's water for. From yesterday to now, Shiki saw with his own eyes what kind of village Kirin village is. Facts have proved that even if Naruto exaggerated a little, most of what he said was true. Here is full of unyielding, laughter and ninja tears. Only without pain and evil. Such a village made Shiki even more reverent towards Corazon. The person who can create such a village and make Konoha village fall in love with it must not be an ordinary person. What's more, the powerful power of Corazon itself has already convinced Shibuki. Advertisement. All these together made Shiki straighten his back when facing Corazon, as if seeing his idol, he did not dare to relax at all, for fear that he would feel that he was not strong enough. Corazon laughed. Actually, I don't think I'm that scary, do I? He suddenly smiled, but Shimu didn't know what to say, so he could only stand at a loss. I invited you here today because I want to take you to see something. Corazon stood up, and now he has grown a lot taller, at least enough to look down on Shiki. What? Shibuki's face became hot when he almost lost his composure in front of the idol, and he didn't even dare to look into Corazon's eyes. Corazon signaled him to follow, and he pressed the mechanism in the sky tower. This is what he specially asked Tesoro to do, which is similar to the existence of elevators, which can let him go out of a few rooms in an instant. Full-bodied chakra made Shibuki shake. That's why I want the hero's water. Corazon snapped his fingers, and the doors of several rooms opened instantly, enough for Shibuki to see the magic circle in the room. Each room is of normal size, almost exactly the same layout and no difference can be seen. The magic circle is drawn by Jiraiya and Leia, and the chakra inside is provided by Corazon. I want to create a place where ninjas can feel double chakra movement and learn new moves from it. Corazon explained indifferently, these rooms will be used as sea ninjas at that time. A place where all members of the village can come. Before that, I must find something powerful enough to act as a formation. Chakra will dissipate. Although there are ways to make it stay here for a certain period of time, after a long time, it will still disappear between heaven and earth. Chapter 175 Thinking Carefully and Fearing. Advertisement. So after careful consideration, Corazon decided that a suitable formation is still needed. This array of eyes must have powerful energy, be able to gather chakra and prevent them from going to Zhaoshan, and preferably have the ability to spread chakra's power. After much deliberation, only the legendary Water of Heroes can do this. Just at this moment, Rain Shinobi Village gave him another chance. Corazon put everything on the table, but people didn't feel bad, but he was very frank. Shiki was even more moved. He thought about how Corazon would tactfully mention the hero's water to him, and he even thought about it for a long time when he was in the room last night, whether he should hand over 887 or not. In fact, Shibuki himself is also very entangled. The Water of Heroes is indeed a secret treasure of Longyan Village that is not passed on to the outside world, but no matter how good the treasure is, it must be saved to protect it. The current situation in Longyan Village is not good, to be precise, it is suffering from the enemy. Rain Shinobi Village is eyeing, because of Shisha's betrayal, the location of Rain Shinobi Village will no longer be a secret. Even if there is the enchantment left by Orochimaru, it may not help the countless strong people who want the hero's water. The so-called two fists are hard to beat four hands, can he really lead the village to prosperity? His heart BGDH tightened, and Shiki suddenly realized that he was far from being strong enough. Dear Your Excellency Corazon, Shibuki made up his mind, turned his head, and faced Corazon bravely for the first time. If I am willing to hand over the hero's water, can Lord Corazon guarantee the safety of Takihead village? He must guard the village. Advertisement. Corazon hooked his lips. Shiki was as smart as he thought, and knew what to do without saying much. It seems that it is really useful for Kakashi to hold that whining elder long. Kakashi, who was ordered to take Elder Takashi and Fu to visit the ninja school early in the morning, suddenly sneezed. I can guarantee that all Longyan village will be under the protection of Sea Ninja Village, free from any attack, and like other villages, they can select suitable students to study in the ninja school. This point, Corazon has also guaranteed with Sarutobi Hiruzen and others. They want to be convinced, and he wants to keep them safe. Within the sphere of influence of High Ren village, no fights are allowed. At this point, Shiki bowed his head convinced. My lord. The young leader of Longyan village made a decision that might anger the elders of Longyan village, but he did not regret it. Fine. Corazon smiled with satisfaction. The so-called heroic water has now been completely integrated into Shiki's blood, and if they want to extract it, they only need Shiki to provide blood. Shibuki cooperated very well with Jiraiya and Kuroho Leia, not to mention how they would operate, and kept his mouth shut the whole time. Jiraiya sighed, if only my apprentice was so quiet. The person in charge came back and sneered, Naruto also wants to have a master who can save him worry. The number of missions completed by Naruto ranks among the top 3 in ninja school, but when Kankuro, who doesn't like to do missions, can make a considerable deposit, Naruto really doesn't have much money in his pocket. Jiraiya didn't know what it was to blush, so she accepted that Kisame despised her cheekily. Their mentors can also take on tasks now, although they can only take on relatively troublesome ones, but this also means that he can also make money, right? Chapter 176 Little Ghost, do you lack a master? Advertisement. Kisame looked at Shiki who was silent, Then thought about what Jiraiya said just now, and suddenly said, "Little ghost, do you need a master?" Shiki was dumbfounded, couldn't help pointing to his nose and said, "Me. He doesn't have any foundation, the only thing he has is the soaring chakra in his body, but Shiki has not been able to control it smoothly until now. He is not in a hurry, even ninjutsu can't be rushed." Shibuki made a plan, no matter how many years it takes, he must stabilize the chakra in his body, and suddenly Kisame took a fancy to him. Black Pick Leia frowned, and gave a slight warning, "Kisame. The 7 ninja swordsmen have no apprentices, they didn't before, and they probably won't have any in the future. They are born to be alone, and they may die in a certain mission one day. As the 7 ninja swordsmen who were once used as tools, each of them is alone." But now, Kisame actually said that he wants to accept apprentices. Of course Leia thought he was joking, but he didn't want the boy to have unreasonable expectations because of this, so he sounded a warning to Guixie. Shiki swallowed the water of heroes in order to protect the village, and gained strength despite the pain of a severed spiritual vein. In the end, he made up his mind to attach himself to Heron village like a strong man cut his wrist. All these incidents were caused by this young man in front of him who looked not much older than Naruto and the others. Leia, the Black Hoe, didn't hide his appreciation for Shiki, so he didn't want Kisame to speak so rashly. But Kisame rolled his eyes and said, "Why, I can't accept apprentices anymore. People like Jiraiya have apprentices, okay." Jiraiya quit and began to roll up his sleeves. What is a person like Jiraiya? Is he very reliable as a master? It's just because the apprentice is too independent, so he doesn't need to worry about it most of the time. Leia opened his eyes wide in surprise. Guixia didn't seem to be joking, did he really plan to? Advertisement. This is a big deal. Although the 7 ninja swordsmen seem to have weak feelings, they have actually been with each other for a long time, and any one of them will cause different reactions from the others. Ghost Shark spread his hands wide. "I think this kid is pretty good, don't you guys think his talent is pretty good?" Seeing such a kid with good talent but empty chakra energy and no one to teach him, he couldn't help but want to recruit disciples. Ask for flowers. Although this apprentice looks a little silly, he probably won't be able to fight against that kid Naruto. After all, Naruto has been made as fine as a monkey by his master. As he said that, Kisame looked at Shiki again, although his tone was still casual, but serious. "How about kid, have you considered it?" 0. This half day is time for him to think about feelings. The wound on Shiki's hand hasn't healed yet, but his mind is already messed up. Is it really possible? Shiki swallowed. Don't hesitate. Ghost Shark raised his eyebrows. Frightened Shimu-chick nodded like pecking rice. "I am willing. Of course I am willing." Corazon didn't expect to ask Kisame to help, and it turned out to be a mentor-student relationship, but he didn't object, he just warned Kisame to be responsible. Kisame nodded. "Don't worry, Your Majesty, I will be more responsible than Jiraiya." Corazon didn't know whether to laugh or cry, and said in his heart, "You should also find a reliable partner to compare with." Chapter 177. Elder Long's eyes turned black. Advertisement. So the whole matter was settled when Elder Long was completely unaware, and when he knew it, it was already a certainty. Kisame, who was named by Shiki and a master, was quite happy. "You don't have to leave this time, you can directly join the ninja school to study, and leave other things to the elders of Takian village." Elder Long looked straight. "What? Why don't you leave? Why hand over 300 to him?" He followed Kakashi to the ninja school, and before he had time to appreciate the powerful teachers in Hainin village, he found the house collapsed when he came back. This is really broken. The leader of their Longyan village actually worshipped a master in Heron village, and even handed over the water of heroes. Elder Long's not-so-thin body swayed twice in the air, and Fu was a little worried and wanted to give him a hand, lest Elder Long couldn't bear such a big blow and fainted directly. Fortunately, Elder Long persisted in the end. "Just take a step back and look very shocked and angry." Chief Shimu. "Well, this time I yelled 4 words, it looks really angry." Shiki also discovered the existence of Elder Takashi, and after greeting Kisame, he came over and said seriously, "Elder Takashi, I have already decided to advance and retreat with Heron village, and Longyan village will be a member of Heron village in the future." "How can this be possible? Our Longyan village is..." Elder Long was interrupted by Kakashi, who was a little unhappy beside him, before he could finish speaking. "Elder Long, don't forget that Konoha village is also willing to be under the jurisdiction of Heron village. Do you mean that Longyan village is stronger than Konoha village?" Although they all call themselves Kakashi villagers now, when it comes to Konoha village's face, Kakashi still won't budge. Advertisement. Elder Long was momentarily at a loss for words. In the world of ninjas, the strong are respected, not to mention Konoha village, Sunagaku Kurigakure, and even the lowest point, Yinin village and Takian village. But, how did things become like this? Elder Long only felt his eyes go dark. "Elder Long, I believe you have also seen the strength of Hiren village." Shimu had already considered it very clearly, the dark color of confusion in his eyes had long since dissipated, and the only thing left was firmness. The location of Longyan village is no longer a secret. If you want to protect yourself, you must change your past way of existence. I don't think there is any problem with my apprentice's choice. Kisame was the first to jump out and confront Elder Long as a frenzy. Elder Long listened to his words, one by one, my apprentice felt his heart surge with anger. But with his current strength, he really didn't dare to yell, "Shut up," at Kisame, so he could only endure the tone forcibly. The leader has always been taught by them. Of course, Elder Long is very clear that the strength of the three elders is really not enough compared to the person in front of him. But, he still can't accept it. The most important thing is that Shimu decided this matter by himself and did not discuss it with them, not to mention Elder Long, even Fu didn't hear any news. Of course, Fu belongs to the one who supports Shibuki. Asterisk 5.4 Elder, there is only this road left in Longyan village. As Taki Yin, Fu's voice sounded. In the face of powerful enemies, if they want to survive, they have no choice but to choose a stronger side to attach to. But the heroic water is. Elder Long is helpless, but he also knows that things have settled down, but he still wants to know what they are using the hero water for. Chapter 178. Sheki, the leader of Longyan village. Advertisement. Regarding this point, Shibuki, who has personally experienced it, of course has the right to speak, so he immediately explained the idea of Corazon. Elder Long was dumbfounded. Why does he think he can understand all the words, but he can't understand the ideas put forward together? Elder Long even forgot to worry about the matter of Longyan village, and frowned as he pondered what Sheki said, which finally made him feel something. Indeed, if this hypothesis is finally realized, then the ninjas in the entire Sea Ninja village will definitely benefit. But what does this have to do with them? Sheki said happily, Your Majesty has promised me that Takian village can select a group of interested ninjas to come to Heron village to study, and the time is up to them to decide. To put it bluntly, the ninja school in Hiren village is like a place to learn from teachers. The difference is that there is no fixed master, and everyone accepts systematic learning together. How much you can learn depends on your talent and the hard work you put in the day after tomorrow. Elder Takashi has already gone around the school, and even passed by Orochimaru who was in class. Of course, he knows how much good news it is for ninjas to be able to join this kind of school. But he didn't expect Longyan village to be allowed to join. All forces under Heron village can enjoy equal treatment. Kakashi snorted, the only requirement is not to cause trouble. If you cause trouble, you will be punished to a certain extent, and if it is more serious, you will be expelled from the ninja village. Advertisement. Those rooms. Of course it can be used as a reward for students, and it is estimated that it can be open to all students in the future. This depends on whether Shiki is afraid of pain. Kisame patted Shiki's head, but Elder Long couldn't understand what he said. What does it mean to see if Shimu is afraid of pain? In the follow-up, Corazon will open up several larger rooms in the Sky Tower to set up the chakra circle, which of course requires the supply of heroic water. So Shiki has to take a few more knives. All the questions were clearly answered, and the conditions were clearly stated. No matter how you looked at it, it would be of great benefit to Longyan village. In the end, Elder Long just let out a long sigh, and finally didn't say any more objections. There was a slight smile in Shiki's eyes, the haze of being at the bottom of him now finally dissipated, and he returned to the sunshine in Longyan village before, and the knot that the village was almost destroyed completely disappeared. Elder Long, I'm going to start classes at the ninja school tomorrow, so I can only ask you to go back and explain 647 to the other elders by yourself, and it's up to you to choose the Durin. No matter how much Shibuki tried to do his best for the village, his age was doomed for him to not be able to grasp too much information. It's not that the elders didn't want to, it's that the former Sheki avoided these things like snakes and scorpions. They wanted to let Shimu take up their responsibilities as soon as possible, but they couldn't do it. Now Shiki has finally grown up as the elders wished, but it has completely deviated from their expectations. That's all. Elder Long let out a long sigh of relief, and slightly bent towards Shiki. Yes, leader. Chapter 179. Two choices. Advertisement. From the moment Elder Long bent over, it represented the complete surrender of the elders to this leader. In the past, they always treated Shiki as a child who hadn't grown up yet, but now they are finally treating him as the leader of the whole village. Shiki, the young leader of Longyan village, officially joined Class 1 of the ninja school of Kirin village after experiencing various twists and turns. Naruto is quite friendly to this transfer student, mainly because Shibuki treated them well when he was in Takian village. And when Elder Takashi didn't distinguish between right and wrong, Shiki also stood up and expressed his trust in Naruto. Naruto certainly welcomes such a lively and reliable classmate. Even Sasuke gave Shibuki a good look, which probably means that he is welcome to join. Class 1 is the smallest class in the academy. Everyone is a talented ninja from various ninja villages. Although they are still young, Shiki does not dare to take it lightly. He must work harder to live up to the painstaking efforts of his master and his lord. The follow-up project volume of Longyan village is huge. Corazon thought about the location of Takigakure. Located at the junction of several countries, although it was hidden deep enough before, the Shisha has betrayed, and even Corazon is not sure how much he has said to the outside world. Now, although Sea Ninja village is well known, its location is after all in the country of waves, and it is quite a distance from Takian village at the junction of several countries. If someone really has the heart to deal with them, I am afraid that this distance will become a fatal point. However, Corazon can't send people to live in Longyan village to protect them for a long time. Advertisement. In this way, not only the people who are sent there are not used to it, but the people in Longyan village are probably even less used to it. Weigh again and again, Corazon gave Shibuki two choices. Migrate all Takian village, or strengthen the village with a barrier. Shiki slightly opened his eyes wide, and when his unique almond eyes are wide open, it always makes him look a few years younger than his actual age. Corazon nodded, but the whole school is up to you to decide. Quote. He accepted Takian village's surrender, but he also didn't intend to interfere too much in their internal affairs, let alone shake Shiki's position as the leader. Of course, this kind of matter should be handled by Shibuki. Fortunately, Elder Long hasn't set off to go back yet, so Shiki still has someone to discuss with. Originally Sheki thought that Elder Long would stick to the latter, but he didn't expect that when he told Elder Long about both choices, Elder Long just kept silent for a moment and said, "Since His Majesty said that the leader will decide, then the leader will decide. You can do whatever you want." Maybe the Great Elder is right, they shouldn't interfere with Shiki to make any decisions, only in this way can Shishu become a qualified and competent leader. Originally thought that Elder Long would object, but he didn't expect that this time he would actually support his King Qian's decision, so Shiki chose the former without hesitation. The Great Migration of Takihead Village. The location of Longyan Village is exposed, and their tranquility for thousands of years is destined to be broken. Even if Corazon promises them to strengthen the barrier, it can't stop the enemies who want to attack. Even if they can't break through, it's definitely annoying enough to provoke them every once in a while. After careful consideration, Shibuki informed Corazon of his choice. Chapter 180 Migration Journey to Longyan Village. Advertisement. Corazon laughed. Sure enough, he is the smart person he likes, and he will not make choices that seem wise but are actually mentally retarded. There is no absolutely safe enchantment in this world, since it is an artificial enchantment, there must be a way to break it. However, the location of Longyan Village remains unchanged, so you only need to try a few more times, and it may not be impossible to crack. Looking at other ninja villages, the location of any of them is not an absolute secret. It's just because the village is strong enough that it deters all directions and prevents the enemy from coming. If you want to solve the problem from the source, the most fundamental thing is to become stronger. Corazon raised his chin slightly. Tesoro, it seems that this time you will have to work hard again. Tesoro faithfully accepted the order. Your Majesty's order will definitely be fulfilled. The last time 190 Kurigakure was damaged was restored by Teizu Luo Shu. After repairing, Kurigakure is much better than before. But this time, Corazon has already selected a place, and is just waiting for Tesoro to show off. Shiki swears that he has seen houses built many times since he was a child, but he has never seen such a fast one. Because it is related to the location of Takian village for thousands of years in the future, Shibuki has personally seen the place given by Corazon. The Kingdom of Waves is an independent huge island country, and there are also countless islands around the Kingdom of Waves, and many of them have never been discovered by people. Corazon asked Tesoro to look around, and finally chose a small island that was not only suitable in size, but also in an absolutely hidden location. The most important thing is that this island is also in the country of Nami, which is equivalent to the fact that Longyan village is now under the eyes of Heron village. Anyone who wants to commit crimes has to weigh his own partition. The high-rise buildings that rise from the ground are different from the architectural style of Heron village. Not to mention the addition of the logo of Takian village, but also specially adopted Shiki's suggestion. The only commonality may be the same golden material. Shiki never thought that the reason why the entire Chiron village is so magnificent is because of this taciturn man in front of him. Advertisement. Tesoro's ability. Absolutely. The migration trip of Longyan village went smoothly. Elder Long didn't exaggerate, but after telling everything he saw and heard in Heron village, the elders of Longyan village made a decision without hesitation. Move. Must move. Although they were already mentally prepared, when they saw the village that Heron village had prepared for them, all the residents of Longyan village couldn't help but open their mouths. Don't like it. As Shiki's master, Kisame shouldered the task of receiving them. Seeing the silent group of people, Kisame thought it was because they couldn't accept Tesoro's advanced aesthetics. Unexpectedly, the voice just fell. All Takigakure village shook their heads in unison. What a joke. How could they not like such a nice house? Is this more than 10 times better than their original house? Kisame nodded. If this is the case, this will be the new Longyan village from now on. Your Majesty will not ask you to do anything, and everything will be as usual. What the villagers of Takian are most worried about is whether the Lord of Heron village, who is willing to provide them with a new residence, will have any demands on them. After hearing what Kisame said, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. No conditions. No requirement either. We must thank you, Your Majesty. The residents of Longyan village were so excited that they couldn't fall asleep. Chapter 181 Pain invaded the country of Taki. Kisame was killed. Advertisement. Chapter 181 Pain invades the country of Taki. In a dark cave, Naruto was nailed to a stone with his hands pierced. Standing not far from him are two men, Uchiha Obito and Pain in masks. Uchiha Obito asked. The 9 tails Naruto have all been captured, why haven't the 7 tails of the Taki country been captured yet? Pain replied. That country is weird. I sent ferrets, ghost sharks, and scorpions, to catch tailed beasts there, but they all never came back. Obito frowned immediately after hearing this. As a country of Taki more powerful than the 5 great ninja villages? This is obviously meant to be blamed. All the tailed beasts of the 5 great ninja villages have been caught, no wonder the country of Taki is more powerful than the 5 great ninja villages. So Obito is really dissatisfied in his heart. He said to Pain again. You go there yourself and get 7 tails back immediately, we don't have much time. Pain nodded, and walked out of the cave, where there was a person waiting for him, it was Conan. Wearing a red cloud robe, Conan walked over and whispered to Pain, Obito is using us. Pain Rinnegan flashed, Not taking it seriously at all, he whispered to Conan. When he used us, we also used him, and when all this is done, I will kill him. Then the two went to the country of Taki. Today's Taki country is still as peaceful as usual. Everything has changed since Corazon built his empire here. It was originally a weak country, but now it has grown into an existence on par with the 5 major countries. It is even more powerful and terrifying than those 5 great powers. This also makes the people of Taki country more proud and proud. Even the people who stand guard at the 840 outside have a sense of pride in their hearts. Standing there makes people feel that they are extraordinary and not simple. At this moment, 7 figures suddenly fell from the sky. They were wearing red jade robes, their faces were dull, as if they had no sense at all, more like puppets. Actually, they're all corpses, except for Conan, who, yes, is here to capture 7 tails Pain's 6 paths. The gatekeeper of Taki country held a spear and asked these people, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" Pain walked to the front, stretched out a hand, aimed at those people, and immediately made them feel uneasy. At this moment, Pain suddenly let out a loud roar, "Feel the pain. Shenluo Tianzheng." Boom. A powerful repulsive force on his palm forms a shock wave and howls out. The ground was instantly dusted and the stone slabs were broken. The gatekeeper was directly sent flying, and his bones continued to shatter while his body was still in the air. They screamed loudly in pain, spit out blood from their mouths, and it seemed that they could not survive. The gate of Taki country was directly destroyed, and in the smoke and dust, countless houses collapsed. Pain's 6 paths and Conan stepped into these ruins. The peace and tranquility of the country of Taki was broken, and countless people started to flee in horror and screams. Not long after, some ninjas came here. Seeing Pain's 6 paths and Conan, they immediately asked nervously, "Who are you? How dare you come here to make trouble, don't you want to live?" Pain turned his head to take a look, and stretched out his palms to point at those people. In an instant, a powerful attraction appeared in the air. Those ninjas were far away from him, and they were standing on the roof. After being surrounded by this attraction, their bodies immediately flew towards him uncontrollably. One of the ninjas was strangled by Pain, and all the ninjas were killed in Kongshan by the weapons made by Shiradao. Blood splattered, and the ninja who was strangled by Pain screamed in fear, "Do you know how powerful Master Corazon is? If you make trouble here, none of you will survive." Pain didn't want to know who Corazon was at all, he came here to capture 7 tails, so he asked coldly, "Tell me where 7 tails is." Ninja was surprised, these people came for 7 tails, let alone that. However, in front of Pain's 6 paths, it's not like he can't say it if he wants to. Pain waved his hand, and threw this ninja face to the world. Ren Zhondao stretched out a hand, attached to chakra, and pressed it on the ninja's head. Not long after, under the panicked eyes of the ninja, Ren Zhondao read all his memories. So they know where 7 tails is, and head there right away. Whoosh whoosh. Not long after, another group of ninjas appeared here, trying to stop Pain and the others. Pain was very annoyed by this, and immediately issued an order, "Beast Road, completely destroy this place." Beast Dao is a woman, she came out, quickly made seals with both hands, pressed on the ground, and let out a loud roar, summoning technique. In an instant, one monster after another emerged from the summoning space tunnel. Then start desperately attacking those ninjas blocking the way. Behind the ninjas, there was obviously nothing, but at this moment, a huge monster suddenly appeared, its red tongue flew out like a lion majesty, and wrapped around those ninjas in the blink of an eye. Caw 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 caw. The sound of bones breaking was heard, and those ninjas didn't even realize what was going on, and all the bones on their bodies were strangled. Immediately afterwards, the body of the summoning beast gradually became transparent again, and finally disappeared. It is a chameleon, which can change the color of its body according to the surrounding environment, and then blend into the environment, so it seems to disappear. Half of the ninjas have a headache facing its attack, because you can't find where it is at all, and when it appears, it is almost time for you to be killed. So it holds most of the ninjas at bay. On the other side, dozens of ninjas attacked a 3-headed dog together. What makes them feel horrified is that the 3-headed dog is immune to death. And the more they split up. At first it was 3 heads, then it became 6 heads, then 9 heads. It even split into several and rushed towards them, and someone was bitten to death by them in the blink of an eye. They were all terrified. What kind of monster is this? It is impossible to fight at all, so some people have the intention of retreating. Not long after, the blocking ninjas were also defeated by the attack. On the ground, a rhino that is taller than a house rushes past. One house after another was destroyed by him in an instant, and the people in the house were all smashed to pieces amidst the screams of smoke and dust. This scene is too horrible to look at. Facing the attacks of the summoning beast summoned by the Beast Road, the ninjas of the Taki Kingdom have almost no power to fight back. Pain and their path will soon be cleared. The few people didn't delay, and went directly to the place where 7 Tails was. Corazon wants to create his own empire in the world of Hokage. The country of Taki is too small, obviously it cannot meet the requirements of Corazon. So early this morning, Corazon took Huang Yuan and his group to other places to choose a site. There is only one Master Kisame guarding the country of Taki. Advertisement. Corazon would never have dreamed that not long after he left, Pain 6 Paths and Conan would invade here. Kisame was standing on the roof at this moment, looking at the scene of the battle in the distance, he was hesitating in his heart. Who is here? He knows, apart from Pain's 6 paths of the Akatsuki organization, who else dares to provoke Corazon now? What he was hesitating about was whether he wanted to join the battle or not. How powerful is Pain's 6 paths? As a member of Zhang Xiao's organization, he knows it better than anyone else. If Pain knew, he didn't die at all, but betrayed the Akatsuki organization and joined Corazon. Pain's 6 paths will definitely not let him go. In the distance, a ninja rushed towards us, shouting loudly, "Master Kisame, we can't stop us anymore, hurry up." Boom. As soon as the ninja finished speaking, a missile flew over from a distance and hit his body. In an instant, he was right in front of Kisame, his body exploded into a pile of flesh and blood. It's just a genin, and he's brave enough to join the battle. Kisame possesses cage-level strength, so should he be a coward here? Kisame gritted his teeth and finally decided to join the battle. He leapt across the rooftops and was in front of Pain's 6 paths and Conan in no time. Pain and Conan were surprised when they saw him. "Kisame, are you still alive? They sent a lot of people here to catch the tailed beasts before, but they all left and never came back. We thought those people were all dead." Unexpectedly, Kisame appeared in front of them intact, and they immediately realized that Kisame had betrayed her. Pain turned gloomy and said to Kisame, "Kisame, I'll give you a chance to redeem yourself. Go and capture 7 tails yourself, and I'll spare your life." Guixi laughed loudly. "Laozi will no longer work for your Xiao organization. You have been doing it all your life, and it is all shameful deeds. Laozi is now following Master Corazon, but he wants to rebuild the empire and rule the entire ninja world. If you are sensible, submit to me like me, otherwise, when Lord Corazon comes back, you will all die." When Pain heard this, he immediately scorned and mocked. A country of Taki also wants to rule the world. Is this a dream and did not wake up? Kisame, since you are ignorant of current affairs, I can only let you die. He stretched out a hand and aimed at Kisame, Shinra Tenji. A powerful repulsive force diffused from his palm, and in an instant, everything in front of him was destroyed by this repulsive force. Kisame was also impacted, and his body flew out immediately. Boom. He hit a building, and in an instant, the building collapsed into a heap of ruins. Before Kisame stood up from the ground, Shiradao walked up at this moment. He stretched out a mechanical arm, and missiles flew out of it one by one. The missiles were all blazing, dragging their long tail fins, and flew towards the ghost shark. Seeing that Kisame was about to be hit, at this moment, Kisame suddenly formed seals with both hands, and let out a loud roar. Water style, water wall formation technique. Wang Yang Dahai appeared in front of him, condensing together to form a wall of water. The missiles bombarded it, all of which were extinguished by the water, and fell to the ground like scrap iron. Immediately, Ghost Shark jumped into the air, quickly made seals with both hands, and roared again. Water style, the choice of a super large waterfall. From his mouth, the water surged out like half a waterfall, and it was about to drown Pain's 6 paths and Conan in it. As long as it is in the water, the ghost shark has a certain chance of winning. Even if you can't beat these people, you can delay for a while. When Corazon comes back, he wins. However, he still underestimated the strength of Pain's 6 paths. Pain suddenly stretched out his palm again, aimed at the flood that was rushing towards him, and let out an angry roar, Shenluo Tianzheng. Boom. The surging torrential torrent was immediately sent flying by a strong repulsive force. There seemed to be a torrential rain in the sky, and the entire country of Taki was enveloped in it. Kisame was also reprimanded by this stock. Li Hongfei, before hiding on the ground, he was vomiting blood continuously from his mouth. Pain's 6 paths is too powerful, whether he wants to stop it or delay time, it is almost impossible to deal with it. Chi. Suddenly, Kisame felt a movement behind him. He hastily turned his head and saw that a huge almost transparent monster had appeared beside him at some point. It was the chameleon summoned by the summoning technique of Animal Dao. Chameleons can hide themselves, but Kisame is a cage-level powerhouse after all, so he found out. The chameleon's tongue, like a lion majesty, entwined towards him quickly, and once it was entwined, it would almost immediately end in pieces. Therefore, Kisame quickly made a mudra with both hands, and let out another loud roar, 1,000-foot shark. Countless sharks flew out in front of him, hitting the chameleon like a rain of arrows. Bang bang bang. Where did the chameleon get this attack? It was quickly wounded, and escaped with summoning. Kisame dealt with this threat, and jumped to a house in 5.0. He looked at Pain's 6 paths and Conan indifferently, and thought in his heart, to defeat them, the only way to defeat them is to use Big Shark Bombs. This is his most powerful whole card. Using it, he can devour the opponent's ninjutsu, and then transform it into his own attack, making his attack stronger. In other words, Kisami's move can almost restrain all ninjutsu. He immediately formed seals quickly on the roof and used the Big Shark Bomb ninjutsu. He thought in his heart that he didn't need to defeat all Pain's 6 paths, he only needed to defeat Pain the Heavenly Dao, and the rest of them could actually be dealt with. However, at this moment, a scene he never dreamed of happened. The evil Kido suddenly ran in front of Pain, opened his hands, and the Big Shark Bomb hit it. In the blink of an eye, the chakra contained in the shark bomb was sucked clean, and then the attack was disintegrated. Kisame was stunned watching from the roof. His ninjutsu was to devour chakra. Unexpectedly, this ninjutsu was directly swallowed by the evil Kido in Pain's 6 paths. Up. Isn't this evil Kido too scary? Just when Kisame was surprised, Tiandao Pain suddenly reached out and aimed at Kisame, and said in a cold voice, "Enough playing with you, you should die too. Universal pull. Woohoo! A powerful attraction immediately engulfed Kisame, and then Kisame was pulled over. One arm of Shiradao turned into a rapidly rotating chainsaw at this moment. The ghost shark was pulled over and just hit the chainsaw. Poochie. His body was cut in half from the middle, blood spattered Pain 6 paths all over them. Kisame, a cage-level powerhouse, was easily killed by them just like that. Chapter 182. The country of Taki was destroyed, and Corazon began to take revenge. Advertisement. Seven Tails has the same name, it looks like a huge beetle, its Jinchuriki is hiding in the woods of Taki country, Pain and his team found him soon. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Pain 6 paths and Conan, surrounded by Seven Tails Jinchuriki. Pain said coldly. Seven Tails, come with us. How could the dignified Seven Tails Jinchuriki be caught without a fight? He opened his mouth and let out a loud roar. Secret technique scale fen hidden technique. Immediately, there was a yellow fog all over the sky, which was actually covered with powder scales. Pain, 6 paths and Conan were blocked from sight, and Seven Tails Jinchuriki wanted to take this opportunity to escape. However, at this moment, countless pieces of paper flew out from behind Conan, and she used the divine paper technique. These pieces of paper condensed on her back, forming a pair of wings. After flapping, her body immediately flew into the sky. Immediately she waved her hand, and countless pieces of paper fell from the air, each piece of paper was a detonator. Boom, boom, boom. Immediately, the entire forest was bombarded by detonators, no matter where Seven Tails Jinchuriki fled, they would be bombarded by these detonators. At this time, Seven Tails Jinchuriki was very puzzled, wouldn't Conan be afraid of hurting his companions with such indiscriminate attacks? He didn't even know that those people were corpses. It was Nagato who hid in the distance and overcame the control. Moreover, among the corpses, there is also a hell path that can be repaired. Not long after, the yellow scale mist in the woods disappeared, and Seven Tails Jinchuriki was forced out, unable to escape from here. Pen 6 paths and Conan surround him again. Tiandao Pain stretched out a hand, aimed at Seven Tails Jinchuriki, and shouted coldly, feel the pain. Shenluo Tianzheng. A strong repulsive force rushed towards Seven Tails Jinchuriki immediately. In an instant, everything on the ground was bounced off and destroyed by the repulsive force. Boom. Seven Tails Jinchuriki was knocked out and hit a boulder hard, he vomited blood, the enemy was too strong, he had to borrow the tail beast's chakra. Therefore, he roared angrily, and chakra from Seven Tails quickly attached himself to him. Not long after, he seemed to have turned into a tailed beast, which is a half-tailed beast. He opened his mouth, condensed the chakra, formed an extremely dense chakra bomb, and blasted towards the group of Pain 6 paths. Boom. Hearing a loud noise, the 6 people hurriedly avoided, and a forest behind them was directly destroyed. All the trees were turned into fly ash, and the ground was covered with scorched marks. One can imagine how powerful this chakra bomb is. At this time, Tiandao Pain floated into the air, and when Seven Tails Jinchuriki saw it, the Seven Tails immediately spun rapidly, like the propellers of a helicopter, and pulled him into the air. Then he quickly moved towards Pain, he saw that Pain was the most powerful one, as long as he was dealt with, the rest would be easy to deal with. Its 2 tentacles stretched out suddenly, smashing towards Pain like an iron whip. If this hits, Pain will be smashed to pieces. However, at this moment, Pain suddenly spun in the air, and the strong gravitational and repulsive forces formed a circular energy field, enveloping him in it. Boom, boom. The 2 tentacles of Seven Tails Jinchuriki smashed on it, unexpectedly it was able to penetrate it. At this moment, Pain waved his hand again, and a black stick flew towards Seven Tails Jinchuriki. Poochie. The black stick pierced into Seven Tails Jinchuriki's body, and he immediately felt that the chakra in his body became disordered, making him unable to condense at all. The tailed beast state disappeared, and he fell from the sky. At this moment, Pain also fell into the sky, holding a 16 black stick in his hand, and the moment he landed beside Seven Tails Jinchuriki, he reached out and grabbed Seven Tails' hands, then overlapped them, inserted the black stick through his overlapped palms, and nailed him to the ground. Puff puff. Immediately, Pain inserted a black stick into Seven Tails Jinchuriki's shoulders and legs. In this way, chakra in Seven Tails Jinchuriki's body was completely controlled, he lost the ability to resist, lying on the ground unable to move, an unimaginably miserable scream burst out of his mouth. A group of Pain and 6 paths didn't react at all. They just said indifferently, successful capture of Seven Tails. Get out of here with Seven Tails in no time. However, at this moment, a large group of ninjas rushed out of the woods, all of them came to stop them. Pain looked at these people indifferently, without anger or pity, because killing these people would not make him feel a little flustered. He turned to Conan and said, you take Seven Tails Jinchuriki back, I will completely destroy this place. Conan nodded and left with Seven Tails Jinchuriki, and the rest of 6 paths condensed chakra on their bodies. Immediately he floated into the air, and the ninjas on the ground looked at it, but they didn't know that disaster was about to befall them. The kunai, shurikens, and detonating charms in their hands were desperately thrown at Pain, but they were all bounced off, and they had no effect at all. They were surprised, how could this person float up? They were even more puzzled, why was he floating up? Suddenly, Pain roared angrily, feel the pain. Super God Luo Tianzheng. An unimaginably strong repulsive force radiated from him as the center, and everything it touched instantly shattered into powder. The ninja on the ground saw this scene and wanted to escape, but it was too late. Their bodies were hit by this repulsive force, and they exploded in the air one after another. A huge pit appeared on the ground, and it spread towards the surroundings. Everything that touched it was pushed down and buried. In the end, the entire country of Taki was completely destroyed and turned into ruins. Everything that Corazon worked so hard for was in vain. More than one person in the country was directly killed by this move. The rest who did not die were all those who escaped in advance. They looked at their ruined homes, and there was nothing but fear in their hearts. Who the hell is this, they wondered. A real god came down here to destroy them. If not, how could he have the power to directly destroy a country? It's terrible, it's terrible. Run away quickly, otherwise, everyone will die here. Corazon doesn't know that the country he created has been destroyed, and he and Kizaru are still choosing a site to expand the empire. They chose a plain by the sea, which is very suitable, and trade can be developed near the sea. It also borders on landlocked countries, so you can communicate directly. What's more, it doesn't belong to any country. Of course, there is also a disadvantage, that is, this is a buffer zone for war, and there is no danger to defend, so no country is willing to occupy this place. However, with Corazon's strength, he is confident. After occupying this place, he can not only defend it, but also make people dare not invade it. He was very satisfied, he smiled and returned to the country of Taki with Kizaru and a group of people. Everyone was stunned instantly. The country of Taki has disappeared, and the original place where the country of Taki was located has become a deep pit, like half formed by the impact of a meteorite flying from outside the sky. The group of Corazon are all stunned. Corazon pointed to the deep pit and said to the person behind him, "What's going on? Where did the kingdom of Taki go? Did we go to the wrong place? They just went out for a trip, why is it gone when they come back to the country of Taki?" So they are wondering if they went to the wrong place at this time. At this time, there was a sound of restlessness in the woods in the distance, and a group of people from Corazon rushed over immediately, and immediately saw a group of people in ragged clothes and faces full of horror. After careful identification, they turned out to be people from the former Taki country. Corazon immediately asked these people, "What happened?" When those people saw Corazon, they were so excited that they knelt down and began to cry to Corazon. The country of Taki was invaded and completely destroyed. It was done by a few people wearing red cloud robes. Corazon's face turned cold in an instant. Hongyun robe, Shao organization, why did they invade my empire? Could it be that they came to catch 20s? Corazon originally only wanted to build an empire here and complete the tasks given by the system. Although people from Akatsuki's organization came to capture Seven Tails before, they were all defeated by him. At that time, he didn't think about dealing with the Shao organization. Unexpectedly, they went too far and directly destroyed Corazon's empire. Undoubtedly, this has completely stimulated Corazon. Corazon sneered. Very good, very good. Immediately notify the 5 shadow villages, let us find out where the Akatsuki organization is. Kizaru looked lazy, and said with some hesitation, the 5 great shadow villages may not listen to us. Corazon turned his head back, glared at Kizaru with a fierce face, and said, if you don't listen, you'll just kill it. The empire he worked so hard to build has been destroyed, and he has fallen into unimaginable anger. No matter who it is, who dares to stop him at this time, there is only one dead end. Kizaru didn't dare to talk nonsense, and left here immediately. He has haste, and it won't take much time to notify the 5 shadow villages. The next step is to wait. No matter who is in your organization, if you mess with lousy, you will only end in destruction. 3 days, only 3 days, Wudaing village found out the hiding place of the Akatsuki organization, and Corazon immediately led people there. In the hidden and dark cave, the 9-tailed beasts were pulled out from Jinchuriki's body, and sealed in the Ghetto statue, the body of 10 tails. Only after the last step of sealing is completed, Tianwei can be activated. Obito and Pain stood on the 2 fingers of the Ghetto statue, secretly looking at each other with cold eyes, and when the last step of sealing is completed, they will kill each other. Just see who is faster, whoever can survive. Boom. At this moment, there was a sudden explosion sound outside, and then the whole cave shook violently, the rocks on the mountain rolled down, and the whole cave became a miasma of smoke. Obito was shocked and asked, what happened? Pain turned to Konan who was standing beside him and said, go out and have a look. Konan's figure disappeared here immediately. Not long after, she came outside the cave, and saw a man floating in the sky, wearing yellow clothes and a long gown. He looked very obscene. He folded his hands on his chest, and there was a dazzling yellow light on his fingers. Immediately afterwards, these yellow lights turned into clusters of light and flew towards the mountain at high speed. Konan had never seen such ninjutsu before, so he was amazed. Countless pieces of paper appeared behind her, condensed together, and became a pair of wings, and she also flew into the air. More pieces of paper flew down from her body and gathered together in the air, like a wall, blocking the attack of the yellow light ball. Boom, boom, boom. Immediately there was the sound of explosions in the air, and Konan asked with a cold face, where did you come from as a ninja? You dare to attack here, don't you want to die? The wretched man lazily said, you are the only ones who are dead, and you dare to destroy the boss's country of Taki, you are all dead. Konan was shocked when he heard this. It turns out that people from Taki country came to take revenge. Before, they razed the entire country of Taki to the ground in order to catch 7 tails. Unexpectedly, the other party came to the door so quickly. The strength of the opponent is so strong, no wonder the previous times Xiao organizations sent people to the country of Taki, and they never returned. However, 10 Tails will be revived soon, and the country of Taki is strong, so it cannot be the opponent of 10 Tails. Conan waved his hand, countless pieces of paper gathered and flew towards the wretched man. In an instant, the wretched man was wrapped up, and her pieces of paper were equivalent to detonating charms. So they exploded continuously in the air. After a few blows, the wretched man was blown to pieces and fell from the sky. Conan was stunned. This person looks very powerful, how could he be defeated so easily by him? Is there any fraud in it? Just as she was wondering, the wretched man who fell to the ground was already in pieces, but a hand suddenly flew out, and pointed a finger at Conan. Dead. Advertisement. A blinding beam of light is flying towards Conan. It pierced Conan's shoulder in one hit. Fortunately, ninjutsu has been used there and turned into a piece of paper, otherwise she would have been severely injured. And the wretched man who fell on the ground miraculously flashed golden light and healed together again. Conan was really stunned. Is this medical ninjutsu? Have you ever seen such a magical medical ninjutsu? How come broken people are healed? When he was surprised, a dissatisfied voice came from below. Kizaru, deal with her, do you have to spend so long? Kizaru said. Boss, I'm afraid of her, her 600 billion detonating symbols are scary. In One Piece world, Corazon summoned Conan. At that time, Conan used the 600 billion detonation talisman trick, which left a deep impression on all the pirates. That's why Kizaru looks so timid when he fights against Conan again. Corazon was very dissatisfied. Get her away immediately, don't let her do bad things here. Conan's 600 billion detonating symbols, even Corazon feels a bit of a headache. That's why I asked Kizaru to lure her away, find a place where no one is around, and let her explode as she wants. With Kizaru's speed, you can escape at any time, and you can't hurt him at all. After hearing these words, Conan was surprised again. How did the other party know her whole cards? This is what she saves for Obito because she fears that Pain is no match for Obito. Kizaru was helpless. Corazon issued an order, he dared not to carry it out. Seeing that the beam of light in his hand condensed into a long sword, he rushed towards Conan again, and shouted, come fight with me somewhere else. Conan stretched out his hand, and shot at Kizaru with countless pieces of paper, and Kizaru roared, Amazono sword. Chi. All the pieces of paper flying towards him were cut off, and then the sword slashed on one of Conan's arms. Fortunately, before that, Conan performed ninjutsu again, and the severed arm has already been replaced by a piece of paper. So her hands are fine at all. Kizaru slashed with a fierce sword again, and Conan condensed the pieces of paper in his hands and turned them into weapons to resist. The two fought in the air, and flew far away in a short while. Corazon then walked into the cave, following behind him, the masters of One Piece world. Among them are Akainu and Aokiji among the Marine 3 admirals, who were summoned by him using the system, and obeyed his orders 100%. Corazon pointed to the cave and shouted loudly, kill Lousy, the people inside will never be left behind. Akainu came out, the magma on his fist was boiling, and he let out a roar, lava volcano. Groups of huge magma flames flew towards the cave, and in the blink of an eye, the flames burst into the sky. Under his attack, the entire cave is also crumbling, and may collapse at any time. In the cave, Pain and Obito, who were still completing the final step of sealing, couldn't sit still. Obito said coldly, leave me the task of sealing 10 tails, you go out and kill all the intruders. Pain sneered, if I leave it to you, wouldn't 10 tails be yours? Obito said, if they attack and break the seal, all our previous efforts will be for naught. In the end, Pain compromised, he jumped off the fingers of the heretical golem, and walked outside. At this time, the entrance of the cave was already ablaze, and even the ground was melted into magma. He frowned. The intruder was very powerful. He stretched out a palm, aimed at the magma at the entrance of the cave and shouted loudly, Shenluo Tianzheng. A powerful repulsion surged out, like a shock wave, hitting the burning magma. In an instant, the flame above was extinguished, and then the obstructions at the entrance of the cave were also swept away. Akainu, who was attacking at the entrance of the cave, had a look of astonishment on his face. He has such a powerful ability that he can bounce off his attack. What kind of ninjutsu is this? He has been in the world of Hokage for a while, and he knows that the chakra ninjutsu used in this world is different from the Haki Devil fruit used in One Piece world. Corazon reminded at the side. Be careful, it's Pain, in the Hokage world, a super cage level existence. The hole was filled with smoke. Pain walked out from the smoke, looked at the group of people around the hole, and asked with a very indifferent expression, who are you all? Corazon came out, and said with a sneer, you just destroyed Lousy's Taki country, and now you pretend you don't know him. Pain Rinnegan flickered and landed on Corazon, a little startled. You are the real controller of the country of Taki. You killed the people sent there by the Akatsuki organization before. That B*********** D Kisame is because you betrayed me. Corazon sneered and said, Lousy really hates it. Why didn't you take action against your organization at that time? You insisted on waiting until now. In the end, you found a chance and destroyed my entire empire. Everyone in your Shao organization will die and be buried with my empire. Pain looked indifferently. Since you are all here, feel the pain. Corazon shouted. Akainu, do it. Akainu immediately charged towards Corazon. The magma flames on his fist were billowing with thick smoke, and in an instant, the surrounding space seemed to be distorted in half by burning. The heat wave swept across, and the vegetation turned to fly ash. Akainu let out a roar. Great eruption. The flames on his fist burst out layer by layer, like a burning meteorite appeared in the air, smashing towards Pain. Wolf. Pain was shocked instantly. What kind of attack is this? It is comparable to Tailed Beast Bomb, he dare not neglect, and hastily used Rinnegan's ability. Shenluo Tianzheng. He held his hands in front of him, and the powerful repulsion formed a semicircle to wrap him up. In the space he was heading for, it seemed like an invisible barrier appeared. Boom. There was only a loud explosion, and Akainu hit the barrier like a blow from a meteorite. In an instant, the whole ground trembled. A huge crack appeared under the two people's feet, spreading out, tens of meters away. The invisible barrier formed by Pain's repulsion in front of him sank visible to the naked eye. However, Akainu's blow failed to penetrate the barrier in the end. Pain was surprised. What is the background of the other party? Is this strength too strong? It seems that the 5 great ninja villages have never seen such a strong man. They went to the major ninja villages to catch tailed beasts, and they must have collected information there. Indeed, there is no such strong man as Akainu, and his strength is definitely not weaker than cage level. That's why Pain was so curious. Who is Akainu? Pain didn't know that Akainu wasn't from the world of Hokage at all, he was summoned by Corazon from the world of pirates. It's normal that Pain doesn't know him well. After Akainu, Pain uttered a roar. Shinra tense. A strong repulsive force erupted at this moment. Akainu was immediately thrown out. Boom. The flying Akainu collided with a big rock, and in an instant, the rock was turned into powder, and was melted into scorching liquid by the magma on his body. Akainu got up, wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, and the resolute expression on his face did not change at all. He walked towards Pain again. Akainu is famous for his resistance to beatings. In the world of pirates, when he fought against Whitebeard, he suffered several critical blows, but he was alive and well. He continued to hunt and kill the members of the Whitebeard pirates, so Pain wanted to kill him, but it was not so easy. Corazon frowned. Seeing that it was not so easy for Akainu to deal with Pain alone, he knew that Obito must be sealing the tailed beast at this time, preparing to revive 10 Tails. He must stop it immediately. Otherwise, is it true that 10 Tails is resurrected, Kagaya and those powerful characters come out, and the world is still not destroyed? He came here to create an empire. If this world is destroyed, why would he create an empire? So, he has to stop all this no matter what. Immediately, Corazon issued an order. Aokiji, go help Kizaru. Aokiji came out immediately, looking indifferent. The ground immediately froze with a layer of ice. Seeing this scene, Pain wondered, is this an ice-type ninja? I haven't seen him perform ninjutsu. Why is the ground frozen? He dare not neglect. Akainu had already walked to a place not far from him at this time. He immediately used the universal pull, trying to attract Akainu. A black stick appeared in his hand. As long as this thing is inserted into the ninja's body, it can make chakra disorder. At that time, there will be no ninja who will be his opponent again. Woo. Akainu suddenly felt a huge suction force wrapped around his body, and then his body flew towards Pain uncontrollably. He wondered in his heart, what kind of ability is this? At this moment, the black stick in Pain's hand stabbed towards his body quickly. He frowned and directly elementalized his body. Poochie. The black stick passed through Akainu's body, but it had already turned into magma. Pain was shocked. What's going on? How did your body turn into magma? Is this substitute ninjutsu? At this moment, a scene that made him feel horrible appeared. As Akainu's body turned into magma, the black stick began to melt in the magma. Pain felt a scorching heat, and Akainu's other hand suddenly turned into flowing magma, and a huge dog's head emerged from the fist. He let out a roar. Dark Hound. This is his most damaging and powerful attack. In the world of pirates, when he was fighting Whitebeard, he used this move to punch through Whitebeard's body, and then burned Whitebeard's internal organs, causing Whitebeard to be seriously injured, and was finally killed by a group of Blackbeard. So one can imagine how terrifying and powerful his blow was. Pain immediately stretched out a hand, and let out a roar from his mouth. Shenluo Tianzheng. The powerful repulsion formed a barrier outside his body. Akainu's great eruption was blocked by this barrier just now. Can he still block the Dark Hound this time? Boom. There was only a loud bang, and the Dark Hound hit the barrier. Visible to the naked eye, the Dark Hound sank in quickly, and cracks appeared around the Kacha barrier. With Akainu's roar, Dark Hound's attack doubled directly, finally smashed the barrier, and then bombarded Pain's body. Boom. Pain was hit hard. Body. The one who was hit bent, flew backwards, and smashed into the dodge. Aokiji just flew over at this moment. He raised his hands in the air. 2 icicles flew out, just landed on the mountain wall. He let out a loud roar. Ice Age. Zzz. The entire dodge package Pain froze into one giant block of ice. Aokiji fell from the sky, took a breath, turned to Corazon and said, "My lord, it's done." Corazon smiled coldly. Fix him. It's still early, he's not easy to deal with. Corazon is a time traveler. He knows how strong Pain is in the Hokage world. When fighting with Naruto, Naruto appeared with 8 tails and broke out in various ways, and finally defeated him. And at that time, Pain had just released Super Shenluo Tianzheng, and the chakra in his body was not enough. Now Corazon and the others are facing Pain in his heyday, and it is Pain of the Six Paths, where the chakra of Pain is all gathered together. How strong is he? You can imagine. Want to defeat him? Relying on Akainu and Aokiji is not enough. Only by finding out Nagato and Corazon who are manipulating Pain can they win the greatest victory. So, when Corazon had Akainu and Aokiji fight Pain, they were also sending people around to search for Nagato's hiding place. Those people must be pirates summoned from Pirate World. They obey Corazon's orders 100%, and they all have phone bugs in their hands. Once they find them, they will immediately contact Corazon. Chapter 183. Strong Pirates, team up to kill Pain. Advertisement. Sure enough, everything was as Corazon expected, and Pain's strength was beyond everyone's imagination. He who had already been frozen suddenly let out a roar, Shenluo Tianzheng. A strong repulsive force erupted from his body, and the glacier that was frozen on his body shattered in an instant, and he fell to the ground together with countless shattered ice, and then looked at Akainu and Aokiji indifferently, feel the pain. He stretched out his palms to point at the two, and roared again, planetary devastation. This is Rinnegan's super trick, which attracts surrounding objects through strong gravity and seals people in a huge stone ball. In the world of Hokage, he uses this trick to catch Nine Tails. If Naruto hadn't exploded at that time, he might have caught him like this. Around the bodies of Akainu and Aokiji, rocks and trees sprang up from the ground, and then quickly gathered towards the two of them, and attached to them. Both of them turned pale with shock, and hurriedly shouted, "What is this?" They immediately started attacking, trying to smash the things attached to them. Akainu yelled. Great eruption. The magma burst out, and all the rocks attached to him melted, but more rocks flew over, and it didn't take long for him to be tightly wrapped, turning into a huge stone ball floating in the air. Aokiji is the same as him, even Aokiji's destructive power is not as strong as him, after all Aokiji relies on freezing attack. So soon, Aokiji was surrounded by a layer of rocks, forming a huge stone ball, floating in the air. But outside the stone ball, there is an extra layer of frost, which is obviously Aokiji's last resistance, but it still doesn't help. Pain, a beast with tails, conceal it. When he fought Naruto, if he hadn't used Chaoshan Luo Tianzheng before sealing it, and the chakra in his body was seriously insufficient, Naruto, who was in eight-tail state, was really caught by him. Although Aokiji and Kizaru are very strong, they are ceiling-level fighting power in the pirate world. In the Hokage world, they are definitely stronger than the general cage-level powerhouses, but they are not the super cage-level powerhouse Pain who owns Rinnegan after all. Opponent. That's why they will be sealed in the air at this time. Corazon didn't feel anxious when he saw this scene, because in the world of pirates, he didn't just summon these two people. Beside him, Garp and Sengoku were still standing, and Corazon immediately issued an order. Garp, Sengoku, break the seal on Aokiji and Kizaru. Garp and Sengoku heard Corazon's order, and immediately stepped out. They reached out and tore off the jacket, revealing half of the rock-hard muscles inside, and then jumped into the air. Garp is wrapped around Armament Haki, who uses the mountain as a sandbag to practice boxing. His strength is definitely above the three admirals, so his punch will definitely break the seal of planetary devastation. On the other side, Sengoku used the ability of Devil Fruit and turned into a golden Buddha. The dazzling golden light radiated from him, and everything around him was eroded. This scene is shocking and spectacular. Pain was shocked when he saw it. Why are there two strong people again? Their strengths are all above cage level. Isn't the background between Taki too terrible? Boom. When he was thinking wildly, Garp took the lead and punched the stone ball formed by planetary devastation. Everything was as Corazon expected. Garp punched extremely fiercely, and directly punched a huge hole in it. Immediately, the cracks spread around, and Akainu, who was sealed inside, sensed that someone was helping, and he immediately attacked. Magma spread out from his body, and he let out a roar, Dark Hound. Boom. On the stone ball formed by the planetary devastation, there was another explosion, and a huge hole was punched out of it, more cracks spread on it, and magma spewed out from the cracks. Boom. With a loud explosion, the stone ball formed by the planetary devastation was completely shattered, and Akainu escaped from it. Another time, the shock wave in Sengoku's hand hit the stone ball wrapping Kizaru, and there was a loud bang. Countless cracks appeared on the stone ball, but it didn't explode. There is no way, the shock wave is a large-scale attack. If you want to break this stone ball, you need Garp and Akainu's single high-damage defense-breaking attack. So, Sengoku failed to break the seal of Kizaru's stone ball, and everything was as expected by Corazon. He turned his head and glanced at Hawkeye standing beside him, and then gave an order, go and help him. Hawkeye came out, pulled out the black sword Yi was carrying on his back, jumped into the air, and slashed down with the sword in both hands. Boom. Click. The sword energy formed by Haki seemed to cut the sky in half instantly, and then fell on the stone ball that sealed Aokiji, and immediately cut a huge crack in it. Immediately, the stone ball split in two, and Aokiji was freed, falling from the sky. There are 5 strong players in One Piece world, Garp, Sengoku, Akainu, Aokiji, Hawkeye, all staring at Pain indifferently. At this moment, even if Pain in front of him is a corpse, he still feels uneasy. The seals of the planetary devastation have been smashed by these people. It seems that to deal with these people, the only way to deal with them is to use Super God Luo Tianzheng. And once this trick is used, it will undoubtedly be like being attacked by a small nuclear bomb. In the world of Hokage, Pain used this trick in Konoha village, and directly razed Konoha village to the ground. And 3 days ago, Pain used this trick in the country of Taki, directly destroying the country completely. So one can imagine how powerful and terrifying Pain's move is. Once he is allowed to use it, everyone here may be in danger of life. So you have to stop him. However, Pain has already flown into the air, and the speed of his use of this move is not as slow as in the anime. It is for people to see clearly and better understand this move, so that he can do that kind of slow motion. He uses this move very quickly, and there is no time for people to react, otherwise, wouldn't he become a living target when he is suspended in the air? So Corazon they want to stop, it seems unlikely. Then they are really dangerous. Faced with a group of strong men in the pirate world, Pain had to use his most powerful trick, Super God Luo Tianzhong. Once it is used, this place will be razed to the ground, everyone feels the crisis, and the expressions on their faces become extraordinarily dignified. Advertisement. Want to stop Pain? It is impossible at all, because Pain uses this move too fast, there is no time for people to react. Seeing a roar from his mouth, Super God Luo Tianzhong. When the strong repulsive force was about to spread out from his body, suddenly, he was in the air, his body froze, and he fell down. Boom. He fell to the ground and lost his ability to move. Everyone went up to check and found that he was dead. How is this going? A group of strong pirates couldn't understand them all, and finally turned to Corazon, hoping he would explain. Corazon came up and said coldly, "It's nothing to be surprised about, he's a corpse. I just asked someone to kill the person who manipulated this corpse." The person who manipulated this corpse was naturally Nagato, who hid nearby, and accepted his chakra by inserting the black stick on Pain's body, so as to achieve the purpose of manipulation. Naruto found him at the beginning by inserting a black stick into his body to sense his position. A group of people in Corazon are all from the world of pirates. They don't have chakra on their bodies, and they are not sentient ninjas. They can't find Pain with this method. But that didn't stop Corazon either. He sent many pirates to look around, and asked them to pay attention to whether there was a black ball on the ground flying into the sky. If you see it, immediately look for it in the area where the black ball flew out. That black ball was exactly what Pain used to attract the 10 stones of grass and trees on the ground when he used the planetary devastation. Just now Pain used planetary devastation on Akainu and Aokiji and just released this black ball in one area. It happened that there were pirates searching there, and then I found Nagato's trail. Although Nagato has a lot of chakra in his body, he almost always fights by manipulating Pain's 6 paths, so he has almost no fighting power. The pirates who searched there managed to kill him. As soon as he died, Pain lost control of 6 paths, and without chakra, fell from the sky. Corazon told these to the strong in pirate world, and finally made them realize it. Rumble. In a valley in the distance, there was a deafening explosion sound suddenly, and everyone hurriedly turned their heads to wait and see, and the mountain peaks there were instantly razed to the ground by the explosion. A golden figure flew out from there, and flew towards Corazon and the others, it was the yellow ape. Kizaru landed next to Corazon, covered in explosion marks, very embarrassed. He is Logia demon fruit power. When using fruit power, it will affect the objects it touches. For example, if the clothes are broken, they can be restored directly, but he doesn't have them now, so you can imagine how hurt he was just now. Even turning his body into elements couldn't counteract the damage. That's why he was in such a mess. The clothes on his body were tattered and there were burnt marks. Kizaru's expression was no longer lazy, he complained and roared. She is really a crazy woman, she was almost killed by blowing up. Corazon sighed in his heart. Fortunately, it was Kizaru who was sent there fast enough to escape. Otherwise, if Akainu and Aokiji were sent to face Conan's 600 billion detonating symbol bombardment, it would be absolutely impossible to escape. Looking at the dark cave, Corazon shouted coldly, "Rush in and kill the people inside." A group of strong pirates rushed into the cave under his leadership. Standing on a huge stone pillar in between, there is a masked person, with only one eye exposed. Seeing him, the strong pirates are wondering in their hearts, who is this person? At the same time, the masked person was also puzzled, how did these people rush in? Didn't Pain block them? Could it be that Pain has already been defeated by them? This shouldn't be possible, right? Pain is super cage level. And these people are not ninjas from the 5 great ninja villages, so where did they come from? At this moment, a man came out from the crowd, he looked at Obito, and said coldly, "Obito, Laozi's Taki country didn't provoke you, why did you destroy it?" Obito finally realized that this group of people are all strong in the country of Taki. Unexpectedly, the strong man of Taki country could defeat Pain. If he had known they were so powerful, he would have been more cautious when capturing Seven Tails. Now that the other party has called, the explanation is useless. At the same time, Obito is also wondering about one thing, how does the person who calls his name know his identity? His current identity is absolutely kept secret, and the outside world even speculates that he is Uchiha Madara. And this person, calling out his name directly, how did he know? Corazon seemed to see what Obito was thinking, and sneered at Obito, "Don't think so much, because it doesn't make sense, you, Nuo Jiao Jiao, will die soon." Obito. He sneered, apparently unwilling to believe what Corazon said, and even mocked Corazon, "You want to kill me? I'm afraid it won't be that easy." Corazon said, "Do it." Hawkeye was the first to attack, and a saber chi slashed towards Obito, but a scene that made them all unbelievable appeared. The sword energy passed through Obito's body, but did not cause any harm to him. All the strong men in the pirate world were shocked and shouted in surprise, "Isn't he a ninja? How could he also elementalize his body?" Corazon explained on the side. He didn't elementize the body, he hollowed it out. He is a space ninja. When Hawkeye attacked, he had already transferred the attacked part of his body into a different space, so Hawkeye couldn't hit him. A group of powerful people in pirate world are amazed that there is such a strange ability in this world. Obito was also shocked. How could Corazon know him so well? His details have almost been completely seen through. What is the origin of the other party? He knew he couldn't stay here anymore. The other party knew him so well, so he must have a way to deal with him, so he had to run away immediately, or he would definitely be in danger. Looking back at Ten Tails, who was about to seal successfully, I had no choice but to give up with the ugly. The space in front of his eyes suddenly began to twist and rotate rapidly, and these people in pirate world immediately saw an incredible scene. Obito actually sucked himself into the eyes and disappeared. They were surprised. This space-time ability, isn't it too weird? He escaped, there is no way to kill him. Everyone felt a little failed, and they all chased here, but they still let Obito escape. Chapter 184 Eliminate Ten Tails, Unify the Ninja World, the finale. Advertisement. Obito's Kamui is a bug. If you can't beat him, you can just run away. No one can help him. Corazon is a time traveler, so he should know this well. Why didn't he prepare in advance? And now he can only watch Obito escape. All the pirates around were dejected for a while. It seems that this time they can only return in vain. However, at this moment, a sneer appeared on Corazon's face. Want to escape from here? This is simply impossible. The pirates were puzzled, and said to him, "He has disappeared, do you still have a way to find him?" Corazon turned to Bluno and said, "Use your door fruit to open the Kamui space to me. Obito escaped here, so I left the coordinates. Bluno's fruit ability can open a door at will in the space, just right here, open the passage to the Kamui space." Bluno came up and used the fruit ability. I saw him stretch out his hand and pull, a door really appeared in the void. Corazon said to the strong pirates around him, "Why are you all staring blankly? Go in." In Kamui space, Obito really rests. He was so angry that he almost succeeded in resurrecting Ten Tails. In the end, a person suddenly appeared, stopped all this, and knew him very well. He didn't know anything about that person. So he was angry, and after those people left, he must revive Ten Tails immediately, and then settle accounts with them. At this moment, he suddenly sensed a strange fluctuation in his Kamui space, as if something had forcibly opened a big hole. He immediately turned his head and saw a door appeared in the void, and then all the pirates who chased and killed him came in from outside the door. Obito was shocked and asked, "What's going on? How did you get in?" Corazon came out from behind the crowd, and said coldly to Obito, "I know everything about you, so you are not my opponent at all, so don't be curious anymore, because you will soon become a dead man." Obito grinned and said, "You think you can kill me just by showing up here? Go ahead and dream. You are all here to die." He stretched out his hand and waved, and in the sky, countless things like branches fell down. That's wood-style cutting technique. As long as a wooden skewer is inserted into a person's body, it will immediately grow into a big tree, and then tear the person's body apart. This is a very terrifying forbidden technique. Even if the pirates have armament hockey, I'm afraid they can't stop this trick. Because armament hockey cannot be used to defend the body all the time, even if there is a slight gap in this move, it will definitely die. However, at this time, Corazon still just smiled coldly, not paying attention to this move. Why is he still so confident? Because he knows everything about Obito, how could he be defenseless against this move? Corazon shouted behind him, "Bartolomeo, use your barrier fruit to block this move." Bartolomeo rushed up immediately, waving his hands in the air, using the ability of Devil Fruit. A green barrier 843 appeared in the air in an instant, enveloping everyone tightly. The cuttings that fell from the sky fell on the barrier, making a bang bang sound, but in the end they failed to break through the barrier. Seeing this scene, Obito showed an unbelievable expression. His most powerful whole card was blocked so easily by someone, he really couldn't believe it was true. He has no choice but to escape now. Therefore, he will leave this different space immediately. However, at this moment, a woman's scream suddenly came from behind. Obito looked back and was shocked instantly. That woman turned out to be the Lin he had been thinking about day and night. Isn't Lin dead? How could it be in the hands of pirates? He hurriedly asked Corazon, "What's going on here?" Corazon said lightly, "If you run away, she will definitely die." Obito shouted anxiously, "Don't hurt her." Corazon was indifferent, and said to the pirates beside him, "Do it." Aokiji was the first to strike, and the ability of frozen fruit was used, and the earth was immediately frozen into a piece of ice. Obito is also frozen in it. Click. Aokiji went up and kicked, and Obito's body was frozen and shattered. The people around breathed a sigh of relief, and finally killed Obito. However, at this time, Corazon sneered again. He is not dead yet, he has Izanagi's forbidden technique, as long as he consumes a Sharingan, he can revive himself. Sure enough, as Corazon said, it didn't take long before Obito was resurrected and appeared in front of them. Obito's face was full of surprise and fear. Why did the man in front of him know him so thoroughly? Everything about him is known by the opponent, so how can he fight? Akainu came up, punched out, and let out a roar. Dark Hound. Puff. Obito's body was pierced again, and the hot magma reduced him to ashes. Akainu turned back and asked Corazon indifferently, he should be dead now. Corazon shook his head, smiled and said to Akainu, he's a Sharingan with a wall, and he can revive him, so you want to kill him. You need to do something. Corazon definitely doesn't like Obito. Slaughtering one's own people, killing one's mentor, no matter what the reason, these are heinous. Therefore, he must die today. Just as Corazon said halfway, after a while, the ugly was resurrected in front of them. This time it was Garp who made the move. He rushed up and struck Obito to the ground with an iron fist. The strong pirates here take turns to attack, no matter how many times Obito is resurrected, he will be killed immediately. In this way, even if he is a Sharingan with 2 walls and 3 walls, he will definitely die. Just when Obito was resurrected for the last time, was knocked to the ground, and was still breathing BGDG, he asked Corazon, is Lin really alive? Corazon turned his head and said to that Lin, return to your original appearance. That Lin turned out to be a clone fruit-capable user, Obito was tricked. Boom. Corazon stomped on his head. The plot to revive Ten Tails was successfully stopped. How can this be? In the world of Hokage, the person who hides the deepest is not Obito, nor Madara, but Black Zetsu. While Corazon was hunting down Obito, Black Zetsu sneaked up next to Ghetto statue and completed the final seal. In this way, the 9-tailed beasts were all sealed into the Ghetto statue. Then the Ghetto statue becomes 10 tails and revives. Sensation. The mountain hiding the Ghetto statue was directly torn apart. 10 tails ran out from inside. The 10 tails were like Tongtian's giant python shaking on the ground, shaking the mountain on the spot in an instant. Immediately, the ground was whipped out huge cracks. The surrounding woods were destroyed in pieces, and the roar of 10 tails was heard by the whole Hokage world. All the people are terrified and uneasy. 10 tails resurrected, an unprecedented disaster befalls the world. Whether it's a ninja, a samurai, or an ordinary person, everyone is in panic. The 5 great ninja villages immediately summon everyone to the place where 10 tails are resurrected, and prepare to kill 10 tails there. Their actions were very quick, and before 10 tails entered the human living area, they stopped 10 tails. Looking at the 10 tails, which are taller than the mountains, the 9 tails are like giant pythons swinging on the ground, and many ninjas who rushed over were almost paralyzed on the ground in fright. The shadow of the 5 great ninja villages immediately shouted at them. Don't be afraid, fear is useless, if you don't wipe out 10 tails, you will all die, and the whole world will be destroyed. Encouraged by these shouts, many ninjas finally got rid of their fear and threw themselves into the battle with 10 tails. They were like moths to the flame. When they got close to 10 tails, they were crushed into a pulp by 10 tails' paws in the air. Standing on the head of 10 tails, Black Zetsu showed a sneer at the corner of his mouth. Idiots, you ants want to fight 10 tails too. Go to hell. When he finished speaking, more than a dozen tentacles grew from 10 tails' body, and they grew into the air. All the ninjas watched this scene in horror. What kind of horror would this be? Advertisement. Question mark. Just listening to Black Zetsu, let out a roar. Wood-style cutting technique. Aggressive. On the dozen or so tentacles of 10 tails, the cuttings shot down like a torrential rain. Once the ninja was hit, a big tree would grow in the body immediately, and then tear their bodies into pieces. Bloody scenes appeared on the ground. Countless ninjas died so tragically, and there were wailing and screaming voices everywhere, and this place seemed to have become a hell on earth. Ha 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 ha. Standing on the head of 10 tails, Black Zetsu laughed wildly, and after a few attacks like this, he can kill all these overwhelmed ninjas. At this moment, a voice suddenly appeared in the air. Dust escape. Boundary stripping. Tsuchikage made a move, and his blood succession elimination ninjutsu was performed, and a crystal clear sword appeared in the air immediately. No matter what it touches, it will be directly turned into dust. Of the dozen or so tentacles that grew out of 10 tails, 7 or 8 of them were immediately cut off by this move. After Tsuchikage shot, Reikage, Kazekage, Hokage, Mizukage also shot, cutting off the rest of the tentacles that grew out of 10 tails. Seeing this scene, the Endurancers naturally shouted excitedly, and their momentum soared in an instant. Destroying 10 tails gave them hope. But at this moment, Black Zetsu standing on the head of 10 tails suddenly sneered mockingly again. You are ants, it is impossible to survive the attack of 10 tails. Click. After he finished speaking, the sky was suddenly covered with dark clouds, and thunder and lightning flashed. Huge lightning fell from the sky, and countless people were instantly annihilated by the flying ashes. Another gust of wind roared out, forming a huge tornado, and the sand and dust rolled up covered the sky and covered the sun, and countless people's bodies turned into blood mist in this tornado. Then another flood fell from the sky, and a large number of ninjas fell into the flood attack, leaving no bones left. Those who survived were all surprised and shouted, "What kind of ninjutsu attack is this? How can it be so terrible?" It turned out to be a natural disaster. Black Zetsu said, "This is the ability of 10 tails, changing the world. Because 10 tails has an immeasurable chakra in their bodies, so it can completely change the natural climate of this world. 1. Even the climate can be changed to form a terrible disaster. What kind of powerful and terrifying monster is this?" Many ninjas were frightened and paralyzed on the ground, and the rest, even if they were not frightened and paralyzed, turned around and ran away. If they are facing people, no matter how powerful they are, they still have a fighting spirit in their hearts. But now, they are not facing humans at all, but monsters that are more terrifying than gods. That's why their will to fight collapsed, and even the shadows of the 5 great ninja villages had the idea of fleeing. 10 Tails is too strong, ninjas can't all die here. Must leave some seeds, continue to fight. So they shouted loudly, run away. Run as fast as possible, find a place to hide, and survive. After 5 cages shouted, more people fled. Standing on the head of 10 Tails, Black Zetsu watched the scene with a sneer, and began to taunt again, you can't escape. Immediately, countless monsters split out from 10 Tails' body, and each monster was tens of meters high. In front of them, ninjas are still as small as ants. Immediately, these monsters began to hunt and kill. In an instant, countless ninjas were trampled to death on the ground by them. The 5 great ninja villages are completely desperate, is it impossible to even escape? Sitting on the ground one by one collapsed, waiting for the arrival of Shinigami. However, at this moment, a burst of dizziness suddenly appeared in their heads, and then they almost fell to the ground. Immediately afterwards, they heard rumbling and rumbling sounds from the ground. They hurriedly looked up, and an unbelievable scene appeared in their eyes. Those behemoths who chased and killed them all fell to the ground, what's going on? Just when everyone was puzzled, a man with red hair, a broken arm and a long knife walked past them, he said with a smile, I didn't come. Is it late? The ninjas asked in astonishment, who are you? The man introduced himself, my name is Shanks. The ninjas were astonished. Are you a ninja too? How did you knock down these monsters? The redhead smiled and said, this is Conqueror's Haki. These monsters split from 10 Tails only have a little 10 Tails consciousness, so their mental power is very fragile. Shanks is the strongest Conqueror's Haki man in the pirate world, so these weak monsters can't block the impact of his Conqueror's Haki. Since he is from the pirate world, why did he come to the Hokage world? Of course he was summoned by Corazon. It took a long time to kill Obito and Corazon in the Kamui space, so when they came out, the world had turned into this. Corazon immediately summoned the redheads and used the Conqueror's Haki to destroy the 10 Tails breakaway monsters. On the other side, Kizaru flew into the air and let out a roar, 8 feet Chonguyu. Countless balls of light flew out of him, bombarding the monsters split by 10 Tails, destroying a large area in the blink of an eye. Aokiji and Akainu are also on the move, and all 3 have wide area attack moves, which are perfect for dealing with the monsters that 10 Tails split. Corazon summoned Whitebeard again, and after a few shock waves, the monsters split by 10 Tails were almost wiped out. Even if there are still some lucky enough to survive, they can't pose a threat to people. The Renren immediately cheered. Saved. The shadow of the 5 great ninja village rushed over to Corazon and expressed his thanks. Thank you for your help. Corazon said coldly. I want to build my empire in this world, so I won't allow anyone to destroy it. 5 Cages was startled. Did they create their own empire to include all the 5 great powers? Corazon is so powerful, they immediately have the intention to be loyal to Corazon and become Corazon's subordinates. So, the 5 Cages knelt down one after another and said to Corazon, we are all willing to be your subordinates and help you create the most powerful empire. Corazon thought in his heart that the strong in the pirate world cannot be summoned all the time. To rule the world, ninjas are still needed, so he promised Gokage to be loyal to him. Standing on the head of 10 Tails, Black Zetsu watched all the monsters split from 10 Tails be wiped out, and he fell into unimaginable anger. He roared. You want to create an empire? Dream it. Lousy will completely destroy this world. 10 Tails opened its mouth, it was gathering chakra, and soon after, a dark red-tailed beast bomb flew out one. The attack of this thing is comparable to a nuclear bomb, and it can easily destroy a country. All the ninjas are in panic again. The strong ones of pirate world are going up to resist, but Corazon stops them. Corazon said coldly, you all go back. This is beyond what you can resist. Immediately, all the powerhouses of the pirate world disappeared here. Seeing this scene, Black Zetsu laughed even more wildly. Did you give up resistance? It's useless, you will still be destroyed. The roar of the black dragon. Suddenly, an ear-shattering voice appeared in the sky. The strongest black dragon in fairy tale world was summoned by Corazon. It blocked 10 Tails' tailed beast bomb. In an instant, a huge pressure flower appeared in the sky. Even if the people on the ground are far away from there, they are almost killed on the ground. Imagine how terrifying the 10 Tails attack is. Although the black dragon blocked the tailed beast bomb, it is still difficult to kill 10 Tails. Therefore, Corazon also told him to go back, and then summoned the captain of the Shinigami first team, Yamamoto Uenyanagi. Corazon said to him, use your Bankai to kill 10 Tails. Yamamoto Motoyanagi hesitated. My Bankai's temperature is too high, it may destroy the world. Corazon said, don't worry, this world is bigger than the Shinigami world, it won't be destroyed so easily. Also, your flame power will cancel each other out with 10 Tails chakra, so it won't cause too much damage in the end. Everything was half as expected by Corazon, and Yamamoto Motoyanagi made a move, turning 10 Tails into ashes with one blow. His Zanpakuto Bankai's power, offset by 10 Tails chakra, ended up just leveling a few hills. The black line died in the terrifying high-temperature flames. Seeing this scene, the ninjas cheered immediately. Victory. When looking at Corazon, one by one seemed to be looking at gods, with expressions of worship on their faces. Because it was he who wiped out the 10 Tails and saved the whole world. All ninjas regard Corazon as a god, so he easily ruled the entire Hokage world and created an unimaginably powerful empire. End of the book.